unto me, all ye who are weary and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Jesus is calling us to come and rest in him, because in him we find peace. In him we find joy. In his presence we also find liberty. He is making an appeal to you to pause, to pray, to pause, to acknowledge your emotions, to pause, to understand his word, to pause, to seek support, to pause, to exhale and rest.
At Rusty Bethel Drive, I'm Paisol Forbes. This is ZNS.
It's What's Trending with Jiminita Swain and the Bahama Beauty at the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas from Studio A. It all starts right now.
Hello and welcome everyone. It's Monday, May 12th, and you're tuned into the ultimate destination for all things lifestyle, entertainment, and everything in between. I'm Jiminita Swain, and you're watching What's Trending, the show where we bring you the latest trends, hottest news, and insider tips on living your best life. Whether you're here for fashion, food, fitness, or the latest buzz from social media, we've got you covered. Let's dive in. A tariff truce between two economic giants, the United States and China, are hitting pause on their trade war, slashing sky-high tariffs in a surprise 90-day deal. American import duties on Chinese goods dropped from a crushing 145% to 30%, and China's cutting back too, from 125% to 10%. The breakthrough came during a hush-hush talks in Geneva, and Wall Street's loving it. Stocks are soaring. But don't celebrate too soon. This is a ceasefire, not a peace treaty. While South Florida and Bahamians planning on traveling there this week, grab your umbrellas and keep your eyes on the gutters. A relentless rainmaker is drenching the region, and a flood watch is in full effect. We're talking up to 8 inches in spots. Roads are turning into rivers. The National Weather Service says flash flooding is likely, especially in low-lying and urban areas. If you don't have to drive, don't. Stay safe, stay dry, and stay tuned. Meanwhile, the weather is expected to turn wet in country too. NASA is under mostly cloudy skies with a few afternoon showers expected tomorrow. Expect breezy conditions with heavy showers in the afternoon. And in sweet news to dessert lovers, today is National Nutty Fudge Day, your official excuse to indulge in rich, chocolatey treat packed with crunchy nuts. Whether you're a fan of walnuts, pecans, or almonds, today is the day to go nuts. While the exact origins of this holiday are a bit fuzzy, fudge itself dates back to the late 19th century. It's believed to have been first made in Baltimore and later popularized by Vassar College students. So grab a spoon, share some fudge with friends, and celebrate the sweet side of life. Well, today we're diving into the UN Global Road Safety Week with some incredible guests. First, we'll be talking to a traffic police officer about how they're working to keep our streets safe, plus a creative teacher who developed a road safety mascot to help educate the next generation. And that's not all. Don't miss the latest update in our What's the Buzz segment. We have an action-packed show you won't want to miss. You're watching What's Trending.
With the arrival of new specialized screening equipment at Lyndon Pinling International Airport, President and CEO at NASA Airport Development Company, Vernice Joaquin, highlighted the new opportunities available for greater ease of travel for passengers.
So this initiative is really an indication of just how committed we are as an airport to provide all of the equipment and systems that will allow passengers to move through our facilities quickly, efficiently, and securely. So the Airport Authority, being responsible for security and passenger screening, baggage screening, they continue to demonstrate their commitment to that objective. And so we're really very pleased that they were able to, together with the Ministry of Tourism, Investments and Aviation, to procure that equipment, because it will make a huge difference in terms of how quickly passengers are able to be processed through the screening process. So it's a win for them, it's a win for all of us, because it just makes LPIA that much more of an airport that is responsive to today's passengers who really don't want to spend too much time in a queue. They really want to move through quickly, and we want them to move through quickly and securely so that they can get to spend some money on food and beverage, retail, and so on, and go on their journey. We are committed to a 5-star journey here at this airport. We want this airport to be rated 5-star, and in order for that to happen, we have to provide all of the systems and equipment and processes that will allow people to move through very seamlessly without any hiccups, without any delays, so that at the end of the day, they consider this part of their experience seamless.
For more tourism updates, visit Tourism Today or Bahamas.com. I'm Michael Miller, and this is Tourism Today.
In the heart of the Caribbean, where sun-kissed roads weave through downtown and coastal stretches, walking and cycling aren't just leisure activities. They're a way of life for many young Bahamians. But for too many, a simple walk to school or ride to work comes with risk. As the world unites for the 8th UN Global Road Safety Week under the banner Streets for Life, make walking safe, make cycling safe, we turn our focus to the front lines of our road safety here at home. In studio today, we have Superintendent Karan Jennings from the Royal Bahamas Police Force Traffic Division, whose daily mission is to keep our streets secure for every road users, on 2 wheels, on 2 feet, and behind the wheel. Welcome to What's Trending, Superintendent Jennings.
Good day.
Thank you so much for being here with us. Now, for starters, tell us, how does the RBPF Traffic Division contribute to road safety, particularly that of pedestrians and cyclists?
Well, road safety is our brand, and every day we go out to educate the public. We do public public discussions. Yes, we speak to the schools. We go on interviews like today. So we are out there spreading the information as we should be. And
raising awareness.
That's correct.
That's important. And so what are the biggest risks that you feel pedestrians and cyclists face on our Bahamian streets today? Okay, so,
most walkers come out very early. They want to get that early morning walk, so that means low light. And also drivers, during those times of hours in the morning, they're not paying particular attention to persons walking. So what we'd advise is, if you're walking early mornings, to wear light-colored clothing or even a fluorescent vest or a lighted vest. Cyclists, if you be out around that kind of time in the morning, you'll see that they are very aware of what they need to do. They wear the blinkers on their cycles, on their vests, and they could be seen from a mile away.
So they're pretty cognizant of what's happening.
They know what's happening, yes, ma'am.
All right. And so are there specific areas in Nassau that you feel are more dangerous for these non-motorized users?
Yes, so the highways in particular, where like the airport road and the highways like Cable Beach Strip, their speed limit is just a little bit higher than the inner city. So you will have to be more cognizant of your surroundings to make sure that you are walking on the sidewalk or cycling in a manner where persons could see you.
Okay. And how does the driver's behavior impact the safety of the walkers or the cyclists?
It impacts it very, very high. Like I said, those times of morning where you have walkers walking like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. Persons who are driving, basically persons just going to work or sometimes getting off from work, so maybe sleepy or they may be as aware as in the midday, so it's very important that they keep aware of their.
So it sounds like everybody has to be alert, like you mentioned before, the walkers and the cyclists, but even the drivers who may, like you say, maybe still be a little bit sleepy because they had to get up early to get, whether it's work or wherever they're going so early. Makes sense. And so what laws are currently in place to protect pedestrians and cyclists in the country?
Okay, so we have areas that have signage, pedestrian crossings, and sidewalks, and drivers are not allowed to drive, vehicles are not allowed to drive or park on sidewalks to make sure it is clear for the walkers and also the riders, and most importantly, the signage.
But we don't have specific cycling lanes as yet. Is that something you think that you will see us introduce in the future?
We'd like to see it happen. It's a conversation between us, Ministry of Works, Transport, to make sure that we have enough room because, you know, our streets are very small already. So bicycle lanes will be something that we could speak on.
And have you personally encountered or responded to incidents involving pedestrians or cyclists? And how did those experiences shape your view of road safety? Well,
in my 29 years, I've seen it all. Just a few years ago, we had an incident with a walker on West Bay Street. She didn't survive the hit, but the driver, he didn't stop. But we were able to locate him, catch him, and bring him to justice. And based on that, just a month ago, myself and a co-worker, we went off. We did a course just specifically for pedestrians and bicyclists. So now we are more than qualified to investigate any matters with pedestrians and bicyclists.
So it made you want to be more, I guess, informed of what you need to look for specifically when you are investigating those types of incidents.
Yes, ma'am.
It's definitely good stuff there. Congratulations to you and your colleagues. So if you could send one message to both drivers, pedestrians, cyclists, what would it be?
Well, this is a message that we normally send out to drivers, but I tweaked it a bit. Walkers, drivers, and riders drive, ride, and walk to arrive alive.
Key message, arriving to your destination alive.
Yes.
Awesome. So what is your vision for the future of road safety in the Bahamas, if you want to speak to the overall view of what you think we need to head towards?
Yeah, so we just to continue to inform the public of what it is they need to do. Go to the schools. We have a program where we speak to 12th graders, those who are old enough to get a driver's license. We show them the process. We give them the way, the path to take, because we encounter a lot of persons that at certain ages, grown adults, they are driving, but they don't have driver's license, and how important it is, because without a driver's license, you can't have insurance, and that is very important. So Traffic Division, Royal Bahamas Police Force, we're in talks with all of the insurance companies, and we are trying to push to make sure that everybody is doing what they're supposed to do.
But not only just for the insurance purposes, the fact that you may not understand the right way in terms of driving, where there's signaling, maybe a signal is out in your car, hand signals, there's so many other elements that are key to proper road usage.
I agree, yes, ma'am.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Superintendent Jennings, for joining us on What's Trending today. It's been a very informative experience.
Pleasure to be here.
And together, we all can make our streets safer for everyone in the Bahamas.
Yeah.
On the other side of the break, join us as we talk to a teacher behind a creative road safety mascot.
Bahamas Striping Group of Companies, we have been in Exuma now for the past 4 years, carrying out our paving program. A part of our company's philosophy is to do some work to international standards. So when you look at our paving division, we have a state-of-the-art lab to do all of our testing in-house, as well as a state-of-the-art asphalt plant with a trained technician carrying out the work on that site. The overarching goal of our company is to produce the work that we're doing in the entire Bahamas to international standards. We also make a difference by the training of our staff. We have a very intensive training program going on to where we are teaching young men how to learn the art of striping. Being a young man myself, I've made mistakes in the past. I was given a second chance to better my life, and it's only fitting that we pass it along. What's important for us is giving them a second chance for them to get a skill and a career that could take them further in life.
Diet-friendly special.
As the Bahamas joins the world in marking the 8th UN Global Road Safety Week, we're shining a spotlight on a powerful initiative making a difference in our country. From the classroom to the streets, a fashion design, clothing and construction teacher has developed a unique road safety mascot to educate the next generation about safe walking and cycling. Today we're joined by Sasha Rose. Welcome back to What's Trending.
Thank you for having me, Janita. It's such a pleasure to be back here.
It's great to have you here with us. So can you tell us about your road safety mascot you created? What's his name and what inspired the design?
Okay, the mascot is just the road safety mascot. Simple, road safety mascot, because it does exactly what the name is. Some of the ideas that come into the design, when I thought about the opportunity, when Principal Russell, she called and she said, Mrs. Rose, they would need a road safety mascot created. Can you do that? And I went right ahead and started to look at some of the ideas that can actually be placed on the mascot, some things that I thought that was important, some issues that are happening in Nassau and throughout the Bahamas. Stuff I wanted to put on the sign that would bring a lot of awareness to the motorists, the public, and also to students as well, because students have to also be respectful to motorists, because it's like a hand-in-hand situation.
Yes.
Yes.
So how are you using the mascot to teach students about walking and cycling safely?
So there are a lot of things on the mascot. If you take a look at the mascot, it tells us about crossing on the sidewalk, and that's why I made the image of a person crossing on the side where it's supersized, because I wanted them to pay attention and focus. That's where you're supposed to be. And
to walk on the pedestrian crossing.
On the pedestrian crossing, correct. Because motorists respect and they must stop when you're on the pedestrian crossing. And
obviously it's bright red too.
Bright red.
It stands out reminding us of like the stop sign.
And it is the stop sign and the school zone.
Well, thank you so much, Sasha, for joining us on What's Trending today. I'm sure your mascot will do what it needs to do to raise awareness and take the message of road safety importantly.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me once again.
Well, we've got the latest hot topics coming your way. Stay tuned because you won't want to miss this.
If you would like to be a part of What's Trending, DM us on Instagram at What's Trending on ZNS.
Your home is your sanctuary. The last thing you need to worry about is rodents. Once they enter your property, they can be tough to get out. If you're concerned about rodents, call Rent-A-Kill Initial. We offer the latest, most effective treatment for safe, fast, and long-lasting results. From prevention to elimination, our integrated approach guarantees protection. For rodent control you can trust, there's only one name in the Bahamas. Rent-A-Kill Initial.
Hey, Daisy. Hey, honey. You got one less thing for me yet? Can I tell you why I get no money? At least not yet. I get my money. Managers. Oh, and I done upload it.
Hello, Miss Daisy. Your check is ready.
Thanks. I come for that little thing. You got it?
Money managers, responsible lenders for responsible people.
Hi, Phil Swift here for the Flex Seal family of flood protection products. Our flood protection products are specifically designed to work together in order to create multiple layers of super strong protection. All these windows, doors, seams, and openings have all been sealed up tight. Now there's a new way to protect your home or business from damaging floodwaters. Get the removable Flex Seal family of flood protection products.
Time to scroll, like, and double tap with the Bahama Beauty.
I'm the Bahama Beauty, and here's what's the buzz for this week. This just in, rapper Tory Lanez allegedly involved in a stabbing incident at the California Correctional Institution, where he is currently serving a 10-year sentence for the 2020 shooting of rapper Megan Thee Stallion. Although details are few, the stabbing was said to have occurred in the facility's yard, and Lanez has been rushed to a nearby hospital. The stabbing is said to be non-life-threatening, and we wish Tory a speedy recovery. This year's Met Gala was surely one for the books. The theme, Superfine, tailoring Black style, celebrating Black dandyism, a fashion movement where elegance meets cultural expression. This theme, inspired by Monica L. Miller's book, Slaves to Fashion, spotlighted the evolution of Black menswear and its profound impact on identity and resistance. So of course, we would all expect to be dazzled, and that we were. Making her Met Gala debut was none other than our Jonquel Jones, showcasing her unique style and athletic elegance. While specific details of her outfit remain under wraps, her presence highlighted the intersection of sports and high fashion, and she did it well. Doja Cat turned heads in a crystal-studded ocelot print bodysuit by Marc Jacobs, aligning perfectly with the event's theme. Coleman Domingo, the gala co-chair, impressed in a custom Willie Chavaria ensemble, blending classic tailoring with contemporary flair. And everybody knows the Met belongs to Rihanna, and she surely cemented that. Showing off her baby bump in a storm gray ensemble, sharing the news through a striking photo captured by photographer Miles Diggs. No additional details on the third addition to the Fenty Baby crew, but I'm sure the whole world is hoping, for the sake of a new album, that she is finally getting her baby girl. And speaking of fashion, the Fentys and our fellow Bahamians, A$AP Rocky was spotted sporting this black and navy ensemble by Bahamian designer Traceline Pratt. His designs boast traditional tailoring with a distinctively modern edge and infusing them with a dash of island culture, which can definitely be seen in Rocky's two-piece set, a double-breasted poncho, and black wool trousers. As we all know, A$AP Rocky is renowned for his eclectic and avant-garde fashion choices, but most often collaborating with high-profile brands such as Bottega, Dior, and Gucci, making him a prominent figure in the fashion industry. His support for Traceline definitely signifies a huge milestone for him, further propelling our Bahamian fashion icons onto the international stage. And I don't think the NBA will have to complain about viewership anymore after this postseason. A must-win Game 4 for the top-seeded Cleveland Cavaliers, down 2-1 against the Indiana Pacers, left Cavalier fans in disarray. Millions watched as the Pacers dominated and disintegrated Donovan Mitchell and the Cavaliers to take a commanding 3-1 series lead. To add insult to injury, Cavs leading man Donovan Mitchell was taken out of the game in the second half due to injury. The Cavs seek to right the ship on Tuesday night in a must-win or go-home Game 5.
Jimmy, do you remember that there was a time, not so long ago, even though it feels so long ago, where Rihanna would give us an album every year instead of babies?
Oh, Lord, we know, but that's just the way it is now. Not only you, she said the fans, but
girl, I know you want your baby girl, but can we please get a baby album, even if it's 3 songs, a single, something?
They know she focusing on motherhood. But still being a fashion icon.
Lord, please let her be a girl this time so she could give me just one fair album, one proper farewell goodbye. I promise I wouldn't ask for nothing no more.
And you would be good.
I'd be great.
That's a promise.
But boy, this baby surely coming into style because to get a debut on the Met Gala, child, this baby already iconic. So what did you think about Ree's outfit though?
I thought it was cute.
Like I
wasn't 100% crazy about it, but it was cute.
I wasn't crazy about it. I think you think it's cute because it's Rihanna, and you know our girl can't do no wrong. But I'm not gonna lie, I kind of like Rocky's outfit better than I liked hers.
I thought he was super happy. If anyone was happy on that Met Gala blue carpet, it was A$AP Rocky.
This was right up his lane.
Yeah.
This was right up his lane. I felt like he executed it perfectly. And Damson Idris as well.
He was coming through his helmet and suit, and you can see him.
I'm like, was this Lewis Hamilton? Like, who's this? And then when they pulled off the suit and
the big reveal.
Yeah, I was like, okay, you got it. I see the vision. You got it. I really like his as well.
To do his thing, but Diana Ross said, let me let y'all know, fashionista in the building with my escorts to get a trail of my dress.
Period.
Hello.
Feet and feet long of just cloth. Listen, and the aerial view of it was even more breathtaking. Like she was one of my favorites. Like she did that.
Well, I loved all of it. A lot was buzzing, so we liked the recap of everything that happened.
Child, this was a busy weekend.
Indeed.
Mother's Day was hot.
Well, we know a lot. Well, we can see what you come up with for next week. Well, it's always great chatting with the Bahama Beauty, but there is so much more after the break. Stay with us.
Summer in the Bahamas. The weather is hot, but not as hot as the ZNS summer packages. Get ads on ZNS TV or ZNS Radio Network or the TV community page, or a combination of all three. ZNS has got you covered with great prices, whatever package you choose. Book before June 7th and get the local Federation Championship Baseball bonus full of all kinds of extras free of charge. Contact your account executive or call ZNS Sales at 502-3800 today. Hot summer package rates valid until July 31st.
Bahama Striping Group of Companies, we have been in Exuma now for the past 4 years, carrying out our paving program. A part of our company's philosophy is to do some work to international standards. So when you look at our paving division, we have a state-of-the-art lab to do all of our testing in-house, as well as a state-of-the-art asphalt plant with a trained technician carrying out the work on that site. The overarching goal of our company is to produce the work that we're doing in the entire Bahamas to international standards. We also make a difference by the training of our staff. We have a very intensive training program going on to where we are teaching young men how to learn the art of striping. Being a young man myself, I've made mistakes in the past. I was given a second chance to better my life, and it's only fitting that we pass that along. What's important for us is giving them a second chance for them to get a skill and a career that could take them further in life.
You've got termites and need to get rid of them fast? Trust Rent-A-Kill Initial. With over 60 years experience in the Bahamas, the global brand, training, and expertise can't be beat. Only Rent-A-Kill Initial gives you a 3-year warranty and payment plan options on termite fumigation. No one can match the range of treatments we offer, such as fumigation, pre-construction treatments, termite monitoring, and more. No matter where you are in the Bahamas, we will come to you. When it comes to complete termite eradication, there's only one name, Rent-A-Kill Initial.
diet-friendly special.
On Tuesday's show, get ready as we connect with Stacy from BTC to talk about how they're keeping the Bahamas plugged in and powered up. You won't want to miss it. And that's all the time we have to wrap up another trending day. Thanks for hanging out with us here on What's Trending. Remember, the conversation never stops. Catch up with us on Instagram at What's Trending on ZNS. Share your thoughts and let us know what you think should be trending next. We will be back tomorrow at 6 p.m. with more headlines, highlights, and heat. Until then, stay curious and most of all, stay connected. See you later.
At the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas, I'm Clint Watson, and this is ZNS.
This is the Bahamas Tonight. The Northern Edition has a look at stories making news tonight. The Davis administration signs a heads of agreement for the redevelopment of the Grand Lucayan Resort. Hear what vendors in Port Lucaya have to say. Plus, billions in investments already underway on Grand Bahama, and port officials say even more could be coming by year's end. And a tragic weekend leaves 2 dead and 1 hospitalized following a drowning and a fatal crash.
The Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition starts now.
Good evening and welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. I'm Ramiko Knowles. Thanks so much for tuning in. This coming Thursday, the government of the Bahamas is expected to sign a new heads of agreement for the redevelopment of the Grand Lucayan Resort. The historic moment signals renewed hope and opportunity for the island and calls for a celebration, according to those in the Port Lucaya marketplace. Our Shane Stubbs met with the Events and Entertainment Department, who have big plans for the upcoming signing.
We are days away from the heads of agreement signing for the Grand Lucayan Resort, which is set to take place this coming Thursday. Now, there's a whole lot of enthusiasm regarding the event, and leading the charge of entertainment for that day is the Port Lucaya Marketplace's Events and Entertainment Department, who say they are pulling out all the bells and whistles for the momentous occasion.
We here in Port Lucaya Marketplace are excited about this breaking news. At 5:30 p.m., the Prime Minister will rush along with the New Year's Day Parade Junkanoo winners, the swingers, from Manor House to the Market Square, with the sounds of cowbells, whistles and horns, bass drums, and brass instruments, and will announce this exciting news to all Bahamians at 6:15 p.m.
In 2016, the rage of Hurricane Matthew forced Memories Resort and Casino, as well as the Grand Lucayan Beach and Golf Resort, to close their doors, nearly bringing traffic to the marketplace to a halt. Now, with the new heads of agreement on the horizon, Entertainment and Marketing Manager Siska Jones believes this is an exciting time for the island to band together.
We would like to invite the entire island, from McLeanstown to West End, to flock to the marketplace on Thursday, May 15th, as we bring the Market Square alive and celebrate this great news in grand style.
Now, giving us a pulse on how the vendors are feeling about the upcoming signing, Lorenzo McKinsey says that there's no room to doubt that this signing will lead to the much-needed shot in the arm the Port Lucaya marketplace needs.
We don't have no room for doubt because we've been doing bad for so long. We ain't thinking about no doubt. Seriously. I don't think people understand the situation in Freeport. When you have to pay your bills and you can't pay it and you have a business and you try to make money, and it ain't nobody else's fault, but we just don't have the numbers up here. And we welcome everything. We ain't looking back. We be looking forward.
Now, while he says it's been an uphill climb for vendors in the Port Lucaya marketplace this past decade, McKinsey looks forward to seeing the residual effect of this deal pay dividends in the long run.
Port Lucaya in the private sector is the largest tourist destination on Grand Bahama, and it's the largest tourist destination in this area.
For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Shane Stubbs.
Thanks, Shane. Well, with just days to go until the official heads of agreement signing, the Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Tourism, Investment and Aviation, the Honourable Chester Cooper, revealing he is optimistic about the economic rebound of Grand Bahama. The DPM told reporters several developments are already on stream, creating more job opportunities for residents on the island and boosting the tourism product.
Not only will Grand Bahama be the fastest growing in airlift and air arrivals, but it will also be the fastest growing island in the Bahamas by way of cruise passengers. We're seeing a $600 million investment in the Grand Bahama shipyard. That's underway, it's happening. We see an additional $1 billion, a total of almost $3 billion we're seeing in Grand Bahama. That's cause for optimism, and many of these are out of the pipeline or coming out of the pipeline. Celebration Key has been hiring now for a considerable period of time. They're moving around the islands because they have difficulty finding enough employees. That's positive. It's optimistic.
Well, that said, port officials are projecting investments on Grand Bahama to hit $5 billion by the end of the year. That announcement came during a press conference attended by the co-chairman and the chief investment officer of the Grand Bahama Port Authority. Officials say after years of setbacks, a new chapter is underway for the island.
We've now had 5 years since Dorian. We are lucky to have investors like Exquisite, Royal Caribbean, MSC, and the cruise lines and Carnival who are now recognizing the value proposition that exists in Grand Bahama.
Grand Bahama's long-awaited bounce back is finally in motion. After decades of hardship, residents are beginning to witness the shift, one that's bringing renewed hope and opportunity. With an estimated $3 billion worth of investments already underway, GBPA officials say they anticipate that figure climbing to $5 billion by year's end.
I spend most of my time on telephone calls with foreign direct investors looking to come to Grand Bahama, and we now have a great story to tell, which makes a big difference. We have a lot of work to do. It's not perfect, but we are, really seeing the fruits of our labor coming to fruition here in Grand Bahama today.
Officials point to a surge in investments since Hurricane Dorian, with projects spanning multiple sectors. And according to GBPA's Chief Investment Officer, Derek Newbold, the possibilities by 2030 are even greater.
By the end of this year, we'll probably be at $5 billion, based on what I'm hearing. Certainly within the next 5 years, we expect that momentum to continue, and we expect to see exponential growth in the investment sector from a broad range of different investments. And so to put a number on that will be difficult to say, but I know that the momentum is certainly going to continue. Investment will follow investment.
But while attracting investors is key, GBPA co-chairman Rupert Hayward stresses that true success will be measured by how those investments positively impact the lives of Grand Bahamians.
Perhaps most importantly is making sure that Bahamians here in Grand Bahama feel the benefits of investment, right? That we make sure that we are prepared as a workforce, that we create the entrepreneurial opportunities, the training and capacity building that's required so that when these investments actually come to life, we know that we have the Grand Bahamians who can take advantage of that.
Well, on to some sad news. Screams of sorrow and despair echoing throughout the community of 8 Mile Rock, as many were at the forefront of reports of 2 juvenile males being lost at sea. Our Matthew Martinborough was on the ground and sharing more details in this report.
A large crowd gathering as word spread of 2 missing boys at 8 Mile Rock's Fish Fry Bay, resulting in the drowning death of one and the hospitalization of another. Boats from assisting entities harbored the waters off the coast of 8 Mile Rock in search of one of the 2 reportedly missing juvenile males at sea. Local fisherman Layman McIntosh sprung into action, diving into the treacherously dangerous waters, eager to assist. Fresh out of the water, gasping for air, he says it was worth the risk.
I was very emotional, but I just want to give the family some type of comfort and relaxation that I could just bring them home and, like I say, hopefully that they'll have some type of comfort, and some type of relief.
Hopefully waiting for the discovery was Daquan Swain, sharing his hopes and prayers to the families during such a difficult time.
An extremely, extremely sad day in the community today, and my prayers just
go out to the entire community because, you know, none of this, I think we expected today. So the experience at first hand is just, you know, it's just an extremely, extremely sad day today.
But a tragic sequence of events unfolded after, as police responding to the drowning were involved in a fatal car crash that claimed another life. As this investigation continues, police are prompting parents to closely supervise children around water.
When a young person talks to them, please pay attention to them. And as you see emergency vehicles transfers throughout Bahamas, also pay attention to them. Okay? As we understand, and our condolences to both families, an official report held elevated.
Now the condition of the child transported to the hospital is still unknown at this time. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Matthew Mertenborough.
Thanks, Matthew. Now we spoke with Press Liaison Officer of the Royal Bahamas Police Force, Superintendent Stephen Roll, who provides this update on the officers involved in the traffic fatality, as well as the condition of the 18-year-old that was retrieved from the waters in 8 Mile Rock.
As it relates to officers involved in a traffic accident on Saturday, all the officers have since been released from hospital, and that matter remains under active investigation. But when it comes to the drowning incident, the second male who survives that incident, he's still listed in stable condition and is still detained in hospital. That matter also remains under active investigation.
Now, officers were also on the scene investigating that accident. Our Shalia Roll was there and filed the details in this report.
Following news of a drowning on Sunset Beach, officers attached to the West End station were dispatched to the scene. But not even a mile away, the unthinkable happened, resulting in another tragedy. As the officers were traveling east shortly after 3 p.m., reports indicate that a gray car turned in front of the responding vehicle, resulting in a collision.
On their route, the officers, the assistance officers, an SUV vehicle turned in front of the officers causing a collision. This SUV vehicle overturned.
A total police car, a Ford Fusion laying on its side, and family members crying on the scene, showing proof of the fatal accident. Firefighters using the jaws of life to extricate the victim from the vehicle.
That driver, the female driver, succumbed to it.
To show support for the grieving families on the sad scene was the Minister for Grand Bahama and the Member of Parliament for West Grand Bahama and Bimini.
You can say that there were a group of young persons, male and female, who were swimming in 8 Mile Rock area beaches at the official age of the victim, of the driver of the SUV is not known.
Police officials say that the matter is still under investigation, and for the identity of the victims.
It's a tragedy, you know, and so we're praying for the families. I was just with one of the family members a moment ago, so it's pretty rough. And we just, you know, all we can do right now is...
Such as Restaurant Mama, 8 Mile Rock. It's a close-knit settlement, families, everybody's family. And so it's always good to come out to show support, especially in time of tragedy.
Now we understand that the victim in the car accident has been identified as Althea Mitchell. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Shalia Roll.
And still to come.
The Royal Bahamas Police Force joins forces with Urban Renewal for a special pre-Mother's Day luncheon. And that story, sports, and more when we return.
Hear that? If you listen closely, you can hear the heartbeat of a nation. That unique sound of a great country pounding with colorful history, a rich culture, and unwavering ambition. When you look around, you recognize its pulse. The people who love to celebrate, who identify with triumph, a people who know how to be our brother's keeper. Commonwealth Bank, built by Bahamians, here for Bahamians, Bahamians helping Bahamians.
Come on down and see what Dolly Madison has in store for you.
renovate, and rejuvenate at Dolly Madison.
Don't miss the first annual Home and Hardware Expo, Saturday, June 7th at Pelican Bay from 2 to 6 p.m. Enjoy free exhibits, giveaways, and expert demos, plus an $150 short-term rental session at 3. Call 352-6126 for more details.
Celebrate the incredible women in your life this Mother's Day. And don't forget the special offer from Coroner, Bahamas. From April 16th to May 16th, enjoy a fantastic 35% off store-wide. That's right, everything you need to show your love and appreciation is on sale. Whether it's a heartfelt gift for mom, a treat for yourself, or something special for that amazing woman in your life, we've got you covered. Don't miss out on this limited time offer. Visit any one of our stores today. Make this Mother's Day unforgettable with Coroner Bahamas.
Here at Freeport Decorators, we have hundreds of products for you to choose from. Whether you're in the market for trophies, plaques, rubber stamps, corporate signs, any kind of interior signage, stamps, or seals, we're your one-stop shop. We feature glass, acrylic, crystal awards for every occasion. We build all the trophies here on site. Looking for a gift item? We feature pens, key rings, mugs, tumblers, barbecue tools, even bamboo cutting boards. Have something already? Bring it on down. Let us see if we can print that special something on it for you. Need a headstone? Memorialize the memory of your loved one with a beautifully lasered granite marker. Our store hours are Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. We focus on customization. So if you have an idea or a new concept, bring it on down or call us at 352-5557 or even WhatsApp your idea to us at 646-0777 and we will do our best to make your awards and recognition ideas a reality.
It was once the heartbeat of Grand Bahama's tourism. Then came the storms, the silence, the setbacks. But now a new day is dawning, and with it the fulfillment of a long-awaited promise. This Thursday, May 15th at 2 p.m., the government of the Bahamas will sign a new heads of agreement for the redevelopment of the Grand Lucayan Resort. This historic moment signals renewed hope and opportunity for Grand Bahama. Join ZNS News for team coverage live from the Grand Lucayan Resort on Thursday at 1:30 p.m. This isn't just a signing, it's a turning point for Grand Bahama.
Your number one team in the North. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
Welcome back. We continue on a sad note. The 8 Mile Rock High School family is now in deep mourning following the sudden death of one of their own. Cleopatra Murphy visiting the school Monday morning as students and staff struggled to come to grips with the tragedy.
We just finished exams last week. We just signed each other's shirts. And the last thing we tell them was, be safe.
Those parting words would not be enough, though, as that same weekend, 17-year-old Elvinson St. Tilmar, just weeks away from graduating, would tragically drown on Lovers Beach. It's an unwelcome reality his family and classmates at 8 Mile Rock High School are still struggling to grasp. Many of those students, including cousins and close friends, broke down during a special assembly, and the school's head boy, Adrian Stewart, says the pain runs deep.
Right now, all of us still a bit shaken up. Some of us still don't feel as if it is real because we're still coming to terms with his death.
Students and staff all describe St. Tilmar as funny, the life of the party. His close friend Henry Placide says laughing and hanging out are memories he will cherish. While others openly display their grief, for him, it's different.
Oh, everybody grieving right now. I know he's my friend. I know if he's here right now, he would probably do the same for me, but I use this as a life lesson to push and keep going and just do it for him.
Principal Albert Jones was emotional about St. Tilmar's death, as he said he had to retrieve 32 students from Lovers Beach on Friday, who went there following a half day.
It hits home that perhaps something more devastating may have been averted. And so I thank God for that. I mentioned that to them on Friday. And just to think that we ended up losing one.
Janitress Bathsheba Rigby and homeroom teacher Shira Jones were particularly close with the 17-year-old.
And he loved to hang out
by the janitor's quarters, lunchtime, break time. He'll come over there and sit with us, and I will tease him and tell him, I say, you know, you got to wear your pants long when you go there look for a job. You always wear these short-cut pants. And he would laugh.
I would have never expected on Thursday signing Albertson's shirt to say my goodbye and my farewell on doing better and doing well in life as you leave this campus. I would have never thought that would be my last time saying goodbye.
Although Elvinson's death comes as an unexpected blow, leaving his mother reeling from pain, the school's principal has this assurance for her.
Elvinson was doing his job. He was doing his job as a student. He was respectful, not getting into any problems. And so he's a son to be proud of.
For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Cleopatra Murphy.
Our thoughts and prayers are with all. Well, as a way of giving back to the leading ladies of our society, the Royal Bahamas Police Force, in conjunction with Urban Renewal, hosting their second annual Pre-Mother's Day Luncheon. Our Matthew Martinborough shares more in this report.
Continuing its joint venture, which has become a tradition for the second year in a row, the Royal Bahamas Police Force, alongside Urban Renewal, hosting its Pre-Mother's Day Luncheon, cascading the lovely ladies with bright, colorful decor and delicious Bahamian native meals, all highlighting the women who made the brave and honorable sacrifices in our lives. Some of the attending ladies note that with respectful initiatives like this one, cherishing our mothers on Mother's Day will mean a lot more.
Mothers are wonderful. So I entreat with every one of you that have mothers to just take them like a little something precious in your hands and do all you can for them right now.
Help to empower them, regardless of their age, regardless of their status. Our country would be much better than it is now.
The Deputy Director of Urban Renewal, Senator the Honorable Kirkland Russell, and Officer in Charge of the Northern Bahamas, Assistant Commissioner of Police Advardo Dames, both expressed words of gratitude for the matriarchal pillars of our society with this initiative.
In this country called the Bahamas, when we say it's better in the Bahamas, we are able to say that only because what trailblazers like these mothers have done for the Bahamian people and their children in this country.
We would just like to say thank you to them. And we've come together to show them our appreciation, that we really and truly appreciate the sacrifices that they continue to make for their children and for the better society.
Both male figures also took time to share some words for the lucky ladies in their own respective lives.
I would like to take this opportunity to wish my beautiful mother a happy Mother's Day, and my lovely wife a happy Mother's Day.
And of course, it would be remiss of me if I didn't say a happy Mother's Day to my wife. Happy Mother's Day, my wife Patrice, my daughter Carissa, and all of my sisters and siblings, female siblings. Happy Mother's Day. Enjoy your day. I love you.
For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Matthew Martinborough.
It's now time for your Health is Wealth Monday Tip.
May is Lupus Awareness Month. There are two kinds of lupus. Discoid lupus that mainly affects skin that is exposed to sunlight, and systemic lupus, or SLE for short, which is a more serious and can affect the skin and joints, as well as vital internal organs like the lungs, heart, kidneys, and brain. Lupus can cause a butterfly-shaped rash on the face, but can also involve other parts of the body, and persons can experience profound fatigue, low-grade fever, severe joint pain and muscle aches, weight loss, chest pain on taking a deep breath, nose, mouth, or throat sores, poor circulation in fingers and toes, or bald patches and hair loss. So if you or someone you know have any of these symptoms, please discuss them with your doctor. I'm Dr. Monique Pratt, and remember, your greatest wealth is your health.
Look at stories making news. Jay, busy weekend in sports.
Oh, certainly a busy weekend. We got basketball, football, soccer, everything you name it. It was a busy weekend in sports, Miko. Highlights coming up soon.
All right, that's coming your way next, but first a check on the local weather forecast.
Tonight's weather forecast is brought to you by Royal Star Assurance.
'Cause it's so beautiful.
Here at Island Bedding, we provide Bahamians a local option for factory direct quality sleep products. We have also expanded to include a range of furniture and home accessories. Check out our new living room pieces, including sectional, TV stands, accent tables, and more. Come on down to Island Bedding and feast your eyes on prices you have to see to believe. Located at number 5 Queens Highway, across from Caribbean Veterinarian.
Journey to a serene oasis. Relax. Rejuvenate. Renew. Welcome to Renew Day Spa. For appointments, call 352-RENU.
This time I'm on a one-way.
While others see customers as numbers, we see our customers as people, neighbors, friends who deserve more than one-sided connections. That's why we are redefining what real connection is by prioritizing our customers and showing our appreciation by putting our money where your loyalty is. ATC customers, claim your $200 Bahamas Air gift card when you add postpaid mobile to your internet plan. That's loyalty that flows both ways.
Good evening, ladies and gents. I'm Jay Philippe, and welcome to Sports Top in Sports. It was a busy weekend in sports. Let's begin with baseball playoff action. Little League Baseball played on Saturday over at the Mara Baseball Park. In 16U play, the Yankees dominated the Dodgers 12-3 in that series. Now in 12U action, the Tigers got the W against FES Royals 12-11 in a close one. And in 10U play, the Red Sox scored one more run against the Shippers 6-5 to win the ball game. Switching gears now in sports scores in Week 5 of the Shockwave Elite Flag Football League, the Warhawks got the win against the Thunder 27-12 in the opening game. In Game 2, the Buccaneers defeated Green Machine 27-8, and the feature game was a high-scoring one, but ultimately it was the Rebels taking down the Grizzlies 42-33. Next in sports, high school soccer, boys championship will play on Tuesday at the Grand Bahama Sports Complex. The winners of the Tabernacle versus LIS and St. George's versus Sunland game will play at 4 p.m. for the title. Also, high school soccer nationals is set for the end of the month in New Providence. And finally in sports, Buddy Hield and the Golden State Warriors will be in action tonight in Game 4 of the Western Conference semifinals against the Minnesota Timberwolves. The Warriors are looking to tie that series at 2 games apiece after dropping Game 3 at home to the Wolves on the weekend 102-97. Ladies and gents, that's your quick check on sports. Your Facebook friend of the day is next. I'm Jay Philippe. As always, be blessed.
I'm Melissa, and I'm a survey enumerator with the Bahamas National Statistical Institute, or BNSI. For the next few months, we will be conducting the Household Expenditure Survey on various islands.
You might be wondering, why is this survey important? Well, it helps us to determine the poverty line and assess how to ensure everyone has access to the basic services they need. This information is used by the government, businesses, researchers, and students to make informed decisions and plan for the future. We know that your time is valuable, which is why we've made the survey as simple and easy as possible. And don't worry, all your information you provide is confidential.
Your participation will help us gather accurate information that will benefit everyone in the Bahamas. Thank you for your cooperation and being a part of shaping the future of the Bahamas.
Your number one team in the north. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
And that concludes the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. I'm Ramiko Knowles.
And I'm Jay Philippe.
Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to stay tuned. The Bahamas Tonight continues. Here's a live look at them now.
This is brought to you by the new BTC. Fiber is here. Faster, stronger, more reliable. Together, we are unstoppable. Switch today.
Coming up in the Bahamas Tonight, reaction tonight from Grand Bahamas Chamber President on the eagerly awaited redevelopment of the beleaguered Grand Lucayan Resort. Also, local experts weigh in on the upcoming storm season and why preparations should be well underway. And celebration upended by tragedy for an American student here in the Bahamas. The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, starts now. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the broadcast. With just days to go until the official heads of agreement signing, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Tourism, Investments and Aviation, the Honorable Chester Cooper, says he's optimistic about the economic rebound on tap for Grand Bahama. Cooper telling reporters several developments are already on stream, creating more job opportunities for residents on that island and boosting the tourism product in the process.
Not only will Grand Bahama be the fastest growing in airlift and air arrivals, but it will also be the fastest growing island in the Bahamas by way of cruise passengers. We're seeing a $600 million investment in the Grand Bahama shipyard. That's underway, it's happening. We see an additional $1 billion, a total of almost $3 billion we're seeing in Grand Bahama. That's cause for optimism, and many of these are out of the pipeline or coming out of the pipeline. Celebration Key has been hiring now for a considerable period of time. They're moving around the islands because they have difficulty finding enough employees. That's positive. It's optimistic.
Well, that signing heads of agreement signing, that is, will take place on Thursday at the Grand Lucayan Resort in Grand Bahama. Meantime, tourism officials have their work cut out for them, reclaiming that small percentage lost in air arrivals and stopover visitors for the first 3 months of 2025. And according to Director General of Tourism, Latia Duncombe, a media plan is already in full swing, starting with a campaign tagline.
It's not just one island. It's a lifetime of them. A lifetime of islands, a lifetime of experiences, a cohesive message that highlights the depth and diversity of the experiences across the 16 islands in the Bahamas that we promote. From a digital perspective, our Bahamas.com has generated 3.4 million global visits and a 9% conversion rate, which is well above the industry standards. 296,000 hotel leads and 86,000 booking entrants. Bahamas.com remains a vital engine for awareness, conversion, and bookings. On island, while we build demand globally, we're also improving the visitor experience locally.
Director General of Tourism Latia Duncombe there also announcing that from now until the end of summer, the Bahamas will stage 30 festivals showcasing the vibrant spirit and culture of the islands. Emerging markets include tracking India and the Middle East, two of the most rapidly outbound travel regions in the world.
As these markets expand, so too does the opportunity to introduce the Bahamas to new, high-spending travelers seeking luxury, wellness, and cultural experiences. By monitoring uplift trends and investing in future-facing partnerships, we are preparing to unlock the next wave of strategic growth.
In other news this evening, get ready, get ready. The two watchwords for this upcoming hurricane season, which forecasters predict will be highly active with up to 7 major storms. In this report, our Devontae Hanna shares the details of what's pushing the airy projection.
Tonight, weather officials say brace for impact this 2025 Atlantic hurricane season.
All environment presents to an above average air, and all the governing bodies so far have gone for above average air.
Colorado State University, the National Oceanic Atmospheric Administration, NOAA, and the National Hurricane Center all predicting up to 25 named storms, 13 of them set to become hurricanes, and as much as 7 major storms. Veteran meteorologist and author Wayne Neely says it all stems from a shift to La Nina conditions.
Right now, the sea surface temperatures are 2.8 degrees Celsius above normal in the hurricane formation zone. That means that the potential for a hurricane form in an ideal environment with warmer sea surface temperatures means that you get stronger hurricanes, more intense hurricanes.
It also raises concerns over storms making landfall earlier than usual, like last year's Hurricane Beryl or rapidly intensifying Hurricane Oscar that hit Inagua a day after forming.
For the last 10, 15 years, we've had most of the storms forming in May. We had which in fact we had one form early as well this year, and we have May 60s, which is above normal, which is significantly above normal in terms of climatology.
Disaster risk management professional Dr. Trevor Johnson believes the key to survival this hurricane season is early preparation.
You stock up on food, canned goods, water, and all those things. Flashlight, get them while you have loose cash now.
And Johnson also argues it requires a national approach.
The country needs to invest significant funds in protecting the shoreline, whether that be through hard structures or soft structures.
The hurricane season runs from June 1st to November 30th. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Devontae Hanna.
Coming up, what happened the night Dino Bain was killed? A coroner's inquest opens to find out. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. That and more when we return.
If you listen closely, you can hear the heartbeat of a nation. That unique sound of a great country pounding with colorful history, a rich culture, and unwavering ambition. When you look around, you recognize its pulse, the people who love to celebrate, who identify with triumph, a people who know how to be our brother's keeper. Commonwealth Bank, built by Bahamians, here for Bahamians, Bahamians helping Bahamians.
KFC is giving you more to love with our KFC Bucket Meals with large size. Get the KFC Family Bucket featuring 8 pieces of juicy chicken, family fries, and 4 biscuits that feeds 4. A KFC Deluxe Bucket with 10 pieces of delicious chicken, 2 larger sides, and 4 biscuits that feeds 4 to 6. Or a KFC Party Bucket with 15 pieces of our chicken, 3 larger sides, and 6 biscuits that feeds 6. And we'll handle the dishes, plates, and utensils included, so you can lick your fingers and reach. KFC knows value, and it's finger licking good.
While others see customers as numbers, we see our customers as people, neighbors, friends who deserve more than one-sided connections. That's why we are redefining what real connection is by prioritizing our customers and showing our appreciation by putting our money where your loyalty is. BTC customers, claim your $200 Bahamas Air gift card when you add postpaid mobile to your internet plan. That's loyalty that flows both ways.
When your hands are too full, life is just too complicated. Nala, Sally, come here. Uncomplicate.
Go faster, safer, greener with the digital way to pay. With Tap to Pay, it's as easy as a gentle touch. No more headaches. Say hello to convenience. The future of pay is digital with options like credit cards, debit cards, online banking, and digital wallets. Make every experience unforgettable. Embrace the ease of digital payments today.
As a professional graphic artist, I work from anywhere in the world. When I travel, I try to keep up with my paperwork and bills as much as possible, utilizing NIB's ESS or Employee Self-Service Portal to submit my monthly payment and to upload my contribution statement makes life easier. The portal is pretty easy to use too. I consider it to be user-friendly. It asks all the necessary questions to guide me through uploading my contribution statement, and I like that it calculates my payments. The NIB representative who showed me how to use the portal, she was patient, friendly, and knowledgeable. I used to fill out my contribution statement manually and visit an NIB office every month to make payments. But now the ESS portal allows for the entire process to be completed online in a time-efficient manner. Like, yay, thank you, that's done. You should sign up today at ess@nib-bahamas.com.
Portion of the news is brought to you by Bahamas Striping Group of Companies, where safety is first.
You're looking at a shot there of Westhill Street, home to the world-famous Grey Cliff restaurant. That shot courtesy of drone pilot Neville Smith. Well, as indicated earlier, this coming Thursday, the government is expected to sign a new heads of agreement for the redevelopment of the Grand Lucayan Resort. The historic moment signaling renewed hope and opportunity for that island, calling for celebration, according to those in the Port Lucaya marketplace. Our Shane Stubbs met with the Events and Entertainment Department, who have big plans for the upcoming signing.
We are days away from the heads of agreement signing for the Grand Lucayan Resort, which is set to take place this coming Thursday. Now, there's a whole lot of enthusiasm regarding the event, and leading the charge of entertainment for that day is the Port Lucaya Marketplace's Events and Entertainment Department, who say they are pulling out all the bells and whistles for the momentous occasion.
We here in Port Lucaya Marketplace are excited about this breaking news. At 5:30 p.m., the Prime Minister will rush, along with the New Year's Day Parade Junkanoo winners, the swingers, from Manor House to the Market Square, with the sounds of cowbells, whistles and horns, bass drums, and brass instruments, and will announce this exciting news to all Bahamians at 6:15 p.m.
In 2016, the rage of Hurricane Matthew forced Memories Resort and Casino, as well as the Grand Lucayan Beach and Golf Resort, to close their doors, nearly bringing traffic to the marketplace to a halt. Now, with the new heads of agreement on the horizon, Entertainment and Marketing Manager Siska Jones believes this is an exciting time for the island to band together.
We would like to invite the entire island, from McLeanstown to West End, to flock to the marketplace on Thursday, May 15th, as we bring the Market Square alive and celebrate this great news in grand style.
Now, giving us a pulse on how the vendors are feeling about the upcoming signing, Lorenzo McKenzie says that there's no room to doubt that this signing will lead to the much-needed shot in the arm the Port Lucaya Marketplace needs.
We don't have no room for doubt, because we've been doing bad for so long. We ain't thinking about no doubt. Seriously, I don't think people understand the situation in Freeport. When you have to pay your bills and you can't pay it, and you have a business and you trying to make money, and it ain't nobody else's fault, but we just don't have the numbers up here. And we welcome everything. We ain't looking back. We looking forward.
Now, while he says it's been an uphill climb for vendors in the Port Lucaya Marketplace this past decade, McKenzie looks forward to seeing the residual effect of this deal pay dividends in the long run.
Port Lucaya in the private sector is the largest tourist destination on Grand Bahama, and it's the largest tourist destination in this area.
For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Shane Stubbs.
Well, back here in the capital, a senior class trip marred by tragedy for a 25-year-old American man here in the Bahamas. Local police reporting that the victim, identified by U.S. media as Bentley University student Gaurav Jay Singh, was in his room with roommates when he accidentally fell from an upper-level balcony. He was later found unresponsive on a lower floor, while Jay Singh was rushed to hospital He died on the way. Now, according to the school's website, Jasing's trip here was part of a distinctive international class experience called Bentley in the Bahamas ahead of commencement. Registered participants are offered opportunities for nightly social events and activities, dining at local establishments, and other community engagement opportunities. In a statement, Bentley University officials called it an enormous tragedy for its community, adding that counseling services were being provided for anyone impacted by the student's death. Meantime, a step forward for one family after 17 months of waiting. A coroner's inquest opened today into the December 2023 police-involved shooting of Dino Bain. Lloyd Allen takes it from here.
27-year-old Dino Bain was shot and killed on December 28, 2023, just one day before his 28th birthday in the Dane Street area. Now, since then, his family has insisted on answers on the shooting and some advances made today as the shooting investigation has advanced to the coroner's court held today in the magistrate court at the Nassau Street Court Complex. Now, that case was presided by Assistant Chief Magistrate Kara Turnquest, and the family was represented by K. Melvin Munro. Now, during those proceedings, Munro did inquire whether a summons was served to the interested party, that's Officer 3099 Umbrister. Turnquest confirmed, and as a result, a warrant of arrest was issued for that officer, and all parties are expected back in court tomorrow at 11 a.m. for this case to continue. Now, friends and family were at the complex today supporting Bain and family and continue to insist on justice for Dino. Reporting from the Nassau Street Court Complex for the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Lloyd Allen.
On a more positive note, the Deputy Prime Minister labeling the country's land registry as chaotic, a state the government aims to correct. If all goes as planned, parliamentarians will soon debate the land adjudication and land registration bills. Fern Carey tells us the process to correct the system used by the unscrupulous to disadvantage others.
Minister of Tourism, Investments and Aviation, Deputy Prime Minister, the Honourable Chester Cooper, tabled the proposed legislation. He says the bills will not only promote fairness and justice when it comes to land ownership, but will also close loopholes in the system that have resulted in too many landowners in the country being disadvantaged.
For many, many years, we've allowed this issue to linger as properties throughout our nation have existed without clear titles, leading to disputes, making businesses hesitant to expand and investors reluctant to build on land without clear titles. Throughout the years, many people have given up on the fight for their land because they lack the funds to win the case in court. It's no secret that those with deep pockets, supported by clever attorneys, have figured out ways to influence outcomes in their favor.
An adjudication process will also be introduced that will officially determine ownership of disputed land, among other issues.
A qualified adjudicator supported by assessors, demarcators, and records officers will visit communities, mark boundaries, hear claims, examine evidence, and resolve disputes through a fair land tribunal process. This will fully determine ownership claims and allow for the land to be properly registered with clarity. The registration of land will be facilitated by the Registered Land Act 2025, which establishes a modern land registry where every parcel of land gets a unique identification number. Owners will then be issued certificates representing definitive proof of ownership.
Once the bills are debated, passed, and implemented, land adjudicators will officially clarify the ownership rights of land, while land tribunals will settle land disputes, bringing clarity to issues through one official record as the country transitions into a modern title-based system. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Fern Carey.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Full Call Smart Pass, the smart way to pay at the pump.
What you doing, man? I'm getting ready for this heat, boy. But you want to see what's in this box? The ghost pepper chicken sandwich, boy. Get an apple pie, fries, and ghost pepper chicken wing. See it? You looking at me? Four. Yeah, boy.
Try our new Ghost Pepper Chicken Box today. Available for a limited time only.
Love that chicken from Popeyes.
Are you straight?
Bro, I ain't getting no service. I can't make no calls. I can't post nothing on my stories. I don't get it.
Wait, you on a live? Shad, come, let's fix that. Come. This one needs saving. Pour them over, please.
Say less. Sign up today. Enjoy 5 gigs on us with select prepaid plans when you port your number to Alive, or 3 months free Alive Fiber services when you port your landline.
Did you know you could send a local bank transfer to a $1 wallet? It's the same as sending a transfer to an account at another local bank. Simply use the wallet's 12-digit top-up address as the account number, savings as the account type, Central Bank of the Bahamas as the bank, and $1 as the branch with branch code or transit number 12,000. Don't use urgent or priority delivery. Transfers to $1 wallets are processed through the Bahamas Automated Clearinghouse Network within 1 business day.
Introducing the Focal Smart Pass app that helps you to fuel up faster. Here's how it works. Download the app on the App Store or get it on Google Play and create your profile with payment details. Visit your nearest Shell station. Open the app, scan the pump's QR code, select your payment amount, and begin fueling. Say goodbye to cash and cards because the Focal Smart Pass offers secure and convenient payment options right at your fingertips. Download Focal Smart Pass now and fuel up faster today.
This portion of the news is brought to you by 700 Wines and Spirits, bringing celebration across the nation.
In the face of long shifts, emotional demands, and ongoing healthcare challenges, nurses continue to answer the call to care. For some, it's just a job. For others, a mission. For registered nurse Jared Francis, the decision to join the noble profession was made close to home.
Well, my mother's a nurse. She's been a nurse for some odd, maybe 40, 42 years. And I went to school at QC. So what she would do is she would pick up my sister and I, and we'll go back to the hospital and she'll finish her shift. And sometimes I'll wait in the car, or sometimes I'll go in the tea room and sit around. And through that early exposure to the healthcare field, it started the wheels to start turning, and I got interested in it.
Now, Nurse Francis is considering taking his skills abroad, a choice driven by professional and personal reasons. We're talking better pay, access to advanced training, and long-term career benefits.
You know what they say, once bitten, twice shy? It's not an easy thing. And then when you have other countries, other places offering you or showing you that they value what you do, what skills you have, it's hard for you to turn your eye away from that, to say, well, hey, let me go and see what this is about, why this is about. If I can get a better working environment, a better salary, they're interested in my professional development, they're interested in my personal development, why not go?
Well, on this International Nurses Day, we certainly here at the Broadcasting Corporation extend a huge thank you to all nurses. Well, Adana Marlena joined us live for a sneak peek of Access Now. What's coming up?
Well, Crystal, Romelda Rose has some new designs, and guess what? They're very independency. I know, Marlena, Independence Day is not until July, but they look pretty.
Never too early to be patriotic, and I think we're going to get a good sneak peek at them tonight, so I'm excited.
Yes.
Well, we look forward to what's coming up over there. For now, stay with us. The National Report is back after the break.
Diet-friendly special.
How do ideas become plans? Plans become memories.
So you like my new room?
And dreams become your life.
This is Night-Time.
Do you remember when hope became a house? When that house became a home? Your ideas are everything, and we're here to help make them happen. Your idea of yes, I can happens here.
Hi, I'm Melissa, and I'm a survey enumerator with the Bahamas National Statistical Institute, or BNSI. For the next few months, we will be conducting the Household Expenditure Survey on various islands.
You might be wondering, why is this survey important? Well, it helps us to determine the poverty line and assess how to ensure everyone has access to the basic services they need. This information is used by the government, businesses, researchers, and students to make informed decisions and plan for the future. We know that your time is valuable, which is why we've made the survey as simple and easy as possible. And don't worry, all your information you provide is confidential.
Your participation will help us gather accurate information that will benefit everyone in the Bahamas. Thank you for your cooperation and being a part of shaping the future of the Bahamas.
Are you or a loved one under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies? Ports International is the largest home health care supplier. Medical supplies at the very best price. And you can even shop online. From hospital beds to wound care, wheelchairs to walkers, Ports is a one-stop shop for your medical supplies, and we accept insurance. We have online shopping and 2 locations to serve you, at the Airport Industrial Park and Shirley Street. We also ship to the Family Islands. Shop online and visit us on Facebook. Call Ports at 377-1771.
Man, this ain't making no sense, man. How people making it out here, Dre?
If you want to stop living paycheck to paycheck, you gotta learn how to budget. First, write down all of your income. Then, list out all of your expenses. And don't forget to save. Stop throwing away money. Put something aside for savings. And get this, government savings bonds can safely grow your money. So start budgeting, save your coins, and invest smart. Financial independence, wait. Financial independence, wait. Learn how to invest in government savings bonds on the Central Bank of the Bahamas website.
And that does it for the National Report, but stay close. The Bahamas Tonight continues with Access Now.
We're all in this boat together. It takes a team to do it. It doesn't take one person or 3 people, 5 people. It takes a team of people to pull this thing off.
We have about 72 employees in Freeport, and the rest are in Nassau, Abelkona, Luthra, a total of over 165.
A lot of people are not aware that Sans is brewed here in the Bahamas. It's made, it's produced here in Grand Bahama Island after Dorian, and especially during the pandemic. Every time I saw a bottle of beer, every time I saw a Sans product, it represented resilience.
The only thing I can say to Bahamian people is to support your own.
All of us are in this boat together, our staff, the country, everyone. And we've been through a lot of rough patches, taking on water, bail the water out, and now it's time to be sailing forward. And we need everyone's support to make that happen.
At SeaTrade Cruise Global 2025, a premier forum for cruise executives and industry leaders, Director General of the Ministry of Tourism, Investments and Aviation, Latia Duncombe, spoke to the importance of the forum for the future of the country's cruise sector.
SeaTrade 2025 is significant for the islands of the Bahamas. Cruising in the Bahamas in general is north of 80% of our business. Cruising in general worldwide is big business, and 44% of cruising globally is throughout the Caribbean region. The Bahamas represents the largest number of cruise line passengers. SeaTrade 2025 gave us an opportunity to engage direct with industry leaders, industry partners, owners, CEOs, presidents, operators of many of the different cruise lines. For us, it's looking at what we offer here in destination, and then also opportunities to expand to ensure that all of the economic benefits reaches to every one of our Bahamians. So in addition to the traditional discussions, it was the visitor experience, and by extension, new business opportunities for our locals across the islands of the Bahamas. Engaging in the discussions was our Deputy Prime Minister the Honorable I. Chester Cooper, the Minister for Grand Bahama, the Honorable Chenja Moxie. We have a lot of announcements, a lot of exciting things happening in Grand Bahama 2025. Also our Tourism Development Corporation, making sure that opportunities exist for our micro, small, and medium-sized operators. And then again, our team at large. So we're here at SeaTrade 2025, exploring on opportunities, expanding the business, and making sure that the impact of our cruise business is felt by all Bahamians.
For more tourism updates, visit Tourism Today or Bahamas.com. I'm Michael Miller, and this is Tourism Today.
Labor Day is fast approaching. Find out what's the latest.
Plus, a new space for those going through their cancer journey. Stay close for that.
And coming up in sports, find out who came out on top in the Billie Jean King and Davis Cup trials.
The Bahamas Tonight Access Now starts now.
Good evening, everyone. I'm LaDawn Davis.
And I'm Marlena Leonard. Welcome to the Bahamas Tonight Access Now.
The weekends are just too short, Marlena. There is no way 48 hours are supposed to go by so quickly.
I know what you mean, LaDawn. It's like you blink and it's Monday, but at least I'm pretty sure it's just 3 weeks until we have the Labor Day holidays. So at least there's one long weekend we can look forward to.
Yeah, and that gives us a little something to look forward to indeed. But until then, let's dive right into the news, shall we? It's less than a month until this year's Labor Day parade. And as workers from around the country will celebrate the advances made by trade unions in the country, but a new chairman is at the helm helping workers to continue on the journey of fairness, accountability, and resilience. Here's Lloyd Allen.
On Friday, June 6, unions from around the country will converge right here at Windsor Park for the 2025 Labor Day Parade. And as resilience is a part of this year's theme, we also decided to introduce you to one of the young unionists who's a part of representation, understanding that unions and trade unions around the country are important now and well into the future.
I am Ernesto G. Williams, Distinguished Toastmaster. I am the president of the Bahamas Union of Auxiliary Professionals in Education, or BUAP for short. And I am also the trustee for the National Congress of Trade Unions in the Bahamas, as well as its appointed chairman for the 2025 Surroundle Folks Labor Day celebrations.
As a millennial engaged in trade unionism, this 33-year-old says activism is in his blood.
My uncle is the late, great Thomas Bastian, who is a pioneer in union leadership here in the Bahamas. I became a part of union leadership simply because it was the right thing to do.
Williams says remembering the human element in the work he does likely sets him apart from others.
The leadership that I bring, that I feel hasn't deviated from union leadership of the past, but has just evolved with the current times of the day and the generation that I come from, the millennial generation, is that, of course, there's a mandate and a focus on transparency and accountability, but it's bringing and not forgetting the human touch. We cannot continue to lead in the Bahamas without reminding ourselves that the people we're leading are people.
While sharing his hopes on the future of unionism, Williams says knowing the foundation is critical in understanding the journey ahead.
We're about to approach a new general election in this country. And we are in a time now where anything that happens globally affects us locally. And so this is a time where people are watching their pockets.
For this reason, Williams is encouraging all workers to show up and show out for the workers in this year's parade, set to begin at 8 a.m. from Windsor Park.
Thanks, Lloyd. Well, battling cancer requires one to muster up as much physical, emotional, and mental strength imaginable. The fight can often feel lonely and leave those in the throngs of this dreaded disease feeling closed off from family, friends, and life altogether. But tonight, Corvell Pyfram shows us a new space intended to give those on this journey hope and purpose.
Look around this place. It's a small space, but one that undoubtedly will be huge in the arsenal to stomp out cancer. The Jenny Dean Cancer Support Group was created by its namesake back in 2012. Jenny had gone through several bouts with cancer herself and feeling lonely at times, like the walls of her house were closing in on her, often emotionally spent and in despair. She turned her feelings into actions, and during her own courageous battle, she found a way to help other women who might be going through the same thing. Jenny lost her fight, sadly, back in 2017, but her daughter, Duquesa Dean, has kept Mom's legacy and vision alive. 8 years after Jenny's death, the support group now has a home. Duquesa is certain Jenny is in heaven celebrating this milestone.
So she would be thrilled that we have a space where women can come into and do art therapy or do puzzles or sit down and have tea and coffee and have community. So I think she is actually celebrating from her grave right now.
The Jenny Dean Cancer Support Group Center is housed at Commonwealth House in Centerville. It's a place where women fighting this dreadful disease will fellowship, be each other's strength in daunting times. But they'll also laugh here and enjoy the lighter moments while encouraging one another to not just survive, but to thrive.
But this is a safe space. Like, this is a space where everyone is just like you. So all of us that work here, we've had some bout with cancer. So we understand what you're going through.
This level of support, survivors say, makes all the difference in the world.
Some people don't have that family support. So to come to a group like this, you become like family.
We take joy and pride in encouraging women, letting them know that there's life, there's hope.
The center will provide women battling cancer with several services free of charge. But perhaps what it gives them most is something you can't put a price tag on and whose value just cannot be measured. The gift of hope. At this place, miracles will be made. For the Bahamas Tonight, Access Now. I'm Corvell Pfeiffer.
And still to come, world-class award-winning designer Romelda Rose is in the house tonight, so keep it locked.
Rubis Ultra Tech in your car. Fill up with Rubis Ultra Tech. Spend less and go far. Fuel up with Rubis Ultra Tech. Get the most out every ride. Just watch your car perform with the best fuel inside. Fuel up with confidence in every mile. Get Rubis Ultra Tech in your tank and drive with a smile. Watch your car perform with the best fuel inside. Fuel the difference with Rubis Ultra Tech.
Celebrating 60 years with new ways of pop-ups, super value and quality supermarkets. Chef Boyer beef spaghetti and meatballs, 15 ounces, $1.69. Kraft macaroni and cheese, starting at a quarter ounce, $1.19. Just Garden vegetable oil, 40 ounces, $4.49. Kellogg's Family Fat cereals, excluded 24 ounces, $5.99. Sweet strawberries, 1 pound, $4.99. Pork chicken wings, $1.59 per pound. Committed to quality and community since 1965. And for value and quality supermarkets.
Celebrate the incredible women in your life this Mother's Day, and don't forget the special offer from Coroner, Bahamas. From April 16th to May 16th, enjoy a fantastic 35% off store-wide. That's right, everything you need to show your love and appreciation is on sale. Whether it's a heartfelt gift for mom, a treat for yourself, or something special for that amazing woman in your life, we've got you covered. Don't miss out on this limited time offer. Visit any one of our stores today. Make this Mother's Day unforgettable with Coroner, Bahamas.
While others see customers as numbers, we see our customers as people, neighbors, friends who deserve more than one-sided connections. That's why we are redefining what real connection is by prioritizing our customers and showing our appreciation by putting our money where your loyalty is. ATC customers, claim your $200 Bahamas Air gift card when you add postpaid mobile to your internet plan. That's loyalty that flows both ways.
For hurricane season, we got impact windows and doors. For protection, just come to our store. Plus we got tiles to pretty up your walls and your floors. We'll help you brighten up for that big bad storm. Porcelain tiles, blank tiles, mosaic tiles, a variety of styles. These 14s get right, they gotta be rough. That's why we got the best deals in the whole Bahamas. Hey, hey.
What? You don't know what TDC is? Tourism Development Corporation?
You mean the Ministry of Tourism?
No, that ain't the same thing, but the Tourism Development Corporation helps to develop and grow behemoth businesses in the tourism industry. You hear what they say, boy? Oh, yeah. Develop and grow. You don't know what all the things they do?
What does do?
Hey, check the website, boy.
Start your journey to ownership of our #1 industry today. Log on to tdcbahamas.com.
You're looking at a live shot of Fort Charlotte on West Bay Street. Fort Charlotte was built in 1789 by British colonial governor Lord Dunmore after the end of the American Revolutionary War. Fun fact, Fort Charlotte has never been used in battle. That shot is courtesy of our drone pilot, Destiny Reed.
Thanks so much, Milena. As I said earlier, Dr. Jillian Curry-Williams, designer of Romelda Rose, joins us tonight to talk about her design and her book. Jillian, welcome to the Bahamas Tonight Access.
Thank you. It's wonderful to be here.
So for those of us who may not know, tell us a little bit about Jillian Curry-Williams and your designs.
Well, I've been sewing for over 40 years. But I'm like wine. I've gotten better with age, so don't. And I have an aesthetic that people know. There's certain things that you don't come to Romelda Rose Designs for, because we're not going to do. But I like that woman that wants to look elegant and just graceful in her own right, you know. And that's what I've been doing.
Now, ZNS has a trip to New York coming up, and we understand you're responsible for the anchor's attire. Tell us about that. How did that all come about, and what are the designs like?
Well, I partnered with ZNS to give them the shirts out of my new print that's called the Bahama print. It's a collage of flowers, and it's a homage to our flag. So it has the colors of our flag on it, and the fabric is airy, it's cool. We try to get styles that could go for any age range, and we're giving them shirts. They're going to be wearing our shirts during their live newscast from New York.
And tell us a little bit more about the designs, the color, the feel, the coolness, everything.
Well, I thought about every woman, but I also thought about the males as well. So we have shirts for the males. Hopefully we'll be coming out with some pants for the males as well. If you want jackets made, you can get the fabric from us to get the jackets made. Unfortunately, we're not making the jackets, but we could recommend someone to make the jacket for you. We have spaghetti strap dresses. We have shirt dresses with buttons straight down the front. We have a little cute little number that has a collar with a placard in the front with some buttons and a band at the hem. That comes in the long and short. The shirt dress comes in short sleeve and long sleeve. And our spaghetti strap dress that comes in short and long. We have the t-shirt dress. There's another dress that we have too, and we've named them after persons in the community, because the shirt dress is named after Her Excellency, our Governor General. That's Cynthia Alexandria. Then we have the little short dress here on display is called the Priscilla Jasmine, after Priscilla Rollins. So we've named them after persons in our community.
And they look so cool and so independent, so patriotic and festive. So we understand that you have a new book on Amazon, From Flicker to Flame. What is that book about, and what actually inspired you to actually...
Flicker to Flame tells my story of breast cancer and some of the other adversities that I would have gone through. And it's a book to give women hope. And it's also like you get teachable moments in it. Like I could change the color of my room because I know maybe a soft yellow would make me feel a certain way, or I could put a plant in, or I could just wear a beautiful jacket, or maybe I could just put on a red lipstick, or maybe a toast color one. So, you know, there's so many things that you could garner from the book, and I just thought now was the right time for the book to come forth, because there's so many women that are going through so many things, and I just want them to know that I have no breasts, I am fine, I am feminine, I feel no different, and I'm still happy.
And besides the Zions for ZNS, what is next, or the next big thing for Imelda Rose?
We are in the process of rebranding, so all of that is coming out soon, and then we're coming out with a line of garments from the Fabric of Hope. So there's a lot more on board for this year for Imelda Rose.
Dr. Jillian Curry-Williams, thank you so much for joining us here on the Bahamas Tonight Access Now.
Thank you for having me.
All the best to you for the remainder of the year. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Let's take a look at what's coming up in sports.
And the Davis Cup and Billie Jean King Cup rosters officially finalized. Details of that story and more coming up in sports.
We at Candid Security offer a varied range of security services, including guard service. We do armored service. We do pre-employment investigation, background checks, also vet people for employment. A live business hosted PBX is extremely important to our operation. I don't have to be in my office. I can easily get connected with our clients, my vendors, my NASA office, and with our employees in the field, anytime, anywhere.
Hi, I'm Melissa, and I'm a survey enumerator with the Bahamas National Statistical Institute, or BNSI. For the next few months, we will be conducting the Household Expenditure Survey on various islands.
You might be wondering, why is this survey important? Well, it helps us to determine the poverty line and assess how to ensure everyone has access to the basic services they need. This information is used by the government, businesses, researchers, and students to make informed decisions and plan for the future. We know that your time is valuable, which is why we've made the survey as simple and easy as possible. And don't worry, all your information you provide is confidential.
Your participation will help us gather accurate information that will benefit everyone in the Bahamas. Thank you for your cooperation and being a part of shaping the future of the Bahamas.
Come and visit us at Shop Smart, 'cause everything is here.
Yes, we have it all for you. Toys, clothing, office supplies, appliances, custom cut blinds, bedding, drapes, and rugs. Come and visit us on Mackey Street, 2 blocks down from Wolf Road. Call us at 698-1052.
Shop Smart, Shop Smart, that's Shop Smart. Oh, everything is here.
Throughout our lifetime, we must all make decisions. No matter how we choose, the right one just needs to be made. Like having J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers as your insurance partner. We've been serving the Bahamas for over 100 years. Whether you need home, motor, marine, or commercial insurance, make the right decision. Call 397-2100 or visit jsjohnson.com.
JS Johnson Insurance, peace of mind.
Welcome to your Monday Sports Check, everyone. I'm Amajal Knowles, topping sports. Bahamas' 2025 Billie Jean King Cup and Davis Cup rosters officially finalized after the BLTA hosting their respective trials this weekend at the National Tennis Center. On the ladies' side, Lisa Clark won over Sophia Ferguson in the finals in straight sets 7-6 and 6-4. And Dante Ambrister won over Kofi Bow in the men's finals, similarly in straight sets 6-2 and 6-1. In the backdrop round, Ariana Davis and Kaylin Bow won over Tanisha Gibson and Spencer Taylor, respectively. All finalists are eligible to serve on the BJK and Davis Cup teams.
I feel like I played all right. I could have done better. Looking to get a lot of matches in, meet new people, and see where I am as a tennis player. I am going to be training more, putting more effort and time into my training and trying to eat right. I'd say I fought hard. I wish that the outcome was different, but I think I played my best, and the score was 7-6, 6-4. So I'd say it was pretty close. I'm glad that we have good competition to go on the team. I want all of us to be able to come together and make sure that we have a good connection so that when we go over there, we come as a team, like as a good team, to fight and continue to put the Bahamas on the map.
This weekend, a big win for the Big Z on Saturday as the ZNS Hill Thrillers picking up their first win of the season in government slow pitch softball. Let's take a look at the highlights. Up first, Deputy Director of TV Karen Miller maybe needed to take off his shades to see the ball better to go down swinging in this matchup. But the Hill Thrillers not out of the fight just yet. Next up to the plate, Production Director Drone Saunders blasts this pitch right past the first baseman and showing off a bit of the speed, making it safe to second for the double. Safe to say we left to hear about this one for the rest of the week. And showing she has other skills outside of rowing me for sending down my package late. BTR editor Debbie Sears making some nice contact here. Finally up to bat, Deputy General Manager of News Opal Roach looking like Aaron Judge behind the bag, showing off a bit of her power and would look at the wheels as she would make it safely to first. While it looks like he may have pulled his hamstring, would make it home safely. Hill Thrillers picking up their first win of the season in dominant fashion, 20-7. Next up for them, a big showdown on Sunday with the Ministry of Tourism and Aviation Island Hoppers. And that's when we look at your sports on this Monday. A check on weather when we return.
Health is the greatest gift. That's where we come in. Bahamas Medical and Surgical Supplies is a premier distributor of medical equipment, as well as medical and surgical consumables. Our engineers are always on hand, providing top care service that saves lives. We carry a wide selection of over-the-counter and prescription items, IV fluids, and other injections. Our products are state-of-the-art, and our entire team stays on top of cutting-edge technology. With more than 2 decades of dedicated service, Bahamas Medical and Surgical Supplies continues to be a trendsetter and innovator in healthcare. We have set ourselves apart by truly caring for our customers. We understand the intricacies of healthcare, and we produce spectacular results. We cherish our partnerships and nurture our friendships as we continue on our quest to help everyone maintain that wonderful gift of good health. Find us on 95th Terrace, Centerville, and now located in the Lucaya Shopping Center of Freeport, Grand Bahama.
The internet isn't just for surfing. There's a sea of shoppers buying online, and you can connect with them on Tingsy. Tingsy is the SBDC's online storefront built for Bahamians. Take your business to the next level by selling to customers online, both at home and around the world. People want Bahamian things, and if you got things to sell, sell on Tingsy. Find out how you can connect with a sea of buyers by visiting tingsybahamas.com.
It's time now for your Access weather forecast. Well, we have been under drought conditions for the past several months, but we finally have some moisture heading our way. As you can see on our live weather radar, we have an area now just moving across the capital, and that will continue to push towards the north and east. So we'll have some heavier showers as we head later into the night, and then you'll get a little break. But there's another batch over north central Cuba that's also moving towards the north and east. So we will have these showers in place right through Wednesday. As a matter of fact, the Department of Meteorology Meteorology has issued a severe weather warning beginning 12 o'clock today, and that will continue right through until about 8 o'clock on Wednesday evening. So the wet stuff will be with us for a couple of days. Now, your boating forecast tonight is brought to you by Live Business, where we bulk up your business. In the northwest and central islands, the winds are going to be southeast, kind of on the brisk side, 12 to 18 knots, so wave heights 3 to 6 feet, so caution flags are in place for the northwest and central islands. High tide, that will take place at 8:45 tonight, and then in the southeastern parts of our country, we'll have that easterly flow also at 12 to 18 knots, and the wave heights 3 to 6 feet, meaning those caution flags extend into the southeast Bahamas tonight. And then on Tuesday, for all areas, we will have a southeast flow, 12 to 18 knots, wave height 3 to 6 feet, maintaining caution flags throughout the 700 islands, with your high tide taking place at 8:59 in the morning and a low tide at 2:58 in the afternoon. In the middle of the week, Wednesday, the winds become south to southwest at 12 to 18 knots, the wave height 3 to 6 feet, high tide 9:37 in the morning with a low tide at 3:34 in the afternoon. Now in the central and southeastern islands, that persistent southeasterly flow will continue at 12 to 18 knots and the wave height 3 to 6 feet. That's going to do it for your boating forecast. It's time now for international temperatures, and they're brought to you by Royal Star Assurance.
I went to a banquet in paradise. Everyone dressed elegant, the ballroom fits up nice. The meal was served buffet style, you never seen such a spread. And people from many nations, they lined up to be fed. The Englishman, he takes some fish and chips. The American grab fried chicken, that's a native dish. The Frenchman bypassed the food, he head straight for the wine. The German just click his heel and Billy play.
And that's going to do it for your international temperatures, brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. For join me at 11 o'clock for a full weather update. Ladon and Malina.
Thanks a lot, Basil. Gloomy overcast day tonight. I guess by tomorrow we'll have some rain, Malena.
Perhaps we will, but one thing I know is right now, this minute, we're going to turn things over to our Matea Cunningham, the newest university graduate in all the land. Matea?
Good Monday evening, everyone. I'm Matea Cunningham, and this is Let's Talk Socials, the segment where I keep you up to speed with everything trending online. So if you took a social media sabbatical and you're wondering what's been going on this week, I'm your girl. First up, it's college graduation season, and you know what that means. The timelines are filled to the brim with Bahamian graduates, both local and international. I mean, with every scroll, you're seeing images of Bahamian excellence draped in stoles, degrees, and well-earned accolades. From associates and bachelor's degrees to master's and PhDs, Bahamian students are taking over our feeds with both creative and heartfelt posts. Take a look at this.
Plenty body, go they follow, 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 you they go. Everything. Singing, oh, my continuous fail. That's my story, my testimony.
There was a time in Bahamian history when a high school diploma was considered the peak of educational achievement. And for many, that was the end of the road. But in recent decades, a wave of ambitious Bahamian students have risen to surpass those standards and shoot for the moon. And honestly, they've landed far beyond the stars. I think I speak for all graduates this season when I say the sky's the limit. I'm Matea, and this has been Let's Talk Socials. See you next time.
Good job as always, Matea. Congrats again on achieving your bachelor's degree from Leo University. Well, that does it for Access Now for this evening.
Yes, but stay tuned for the rundown with Clint Watson. His guest tonight is former president of the Bahamas National Trust, Eric Carey.
Good night, everybody.
It was once the heartbeat of Grand Bahama's tourism. Then came the storms, the silence, the setbacks. But now a new day is dawning, and with it the fulfillment of a long-awaited promise. This Thursday, May 15th at 2 p.m., the government of the Bahamas will sign a new heads of agreement for the redevelopment of the Grand Lucayan Resort. This historic moment signals renewed hope and opportunity for Grand Bahama. Join ZNS News for team coverage live from the Grand Lucayan Resort on Thursday at 1:30 p.m. This isn't just a signing, it's a turning point for Grand Bahama.
on Social Mania, a new and dynamic game show based on the Ministry of Education's primary and junior high school social studies curriculum. Students from schools across the Bahamas go head-to-head as their knowledge of social studies is challenged. In this episode, Gambier Primary battles with Sadie Curtis Primary School. Which school will emerge as winner? To find out, join us as these two schools engage in intense competition. Don't miss it.
Coming up, crop overs already in the air, along with all the hype. They conquered the Caribbean. Now they're ready for the world. Solid financial support joins the battle versus severe medical conditions. There's absolutely everything you need and then some at this resort. It's all next on this station.
Hello, I'm Mario Nuri. It's never too early to prepare for a hurricane, and we want to make sure our community is always ready. So we invite you to join us for another A Familiar Walk, Step Towards Hurricane Preparedness, with special guests, Lisa Pinder, Director General, Dr. Trevor Johnson of the Bahamas Red Cross, Disaster Risk Management Authority representatives, and Charles Johnson of J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers. So do join us and stay weather aware.
I have been coming to this island since I was 12 years old. It didn't take me long to realize the rich history it has here. When I bought this island in 2018, I fulfilled a lifelong dream. The goal is not only to preserve the memories I made over those years, but to make new ones and to give others the opportunity to do the same. As we go through this process, it has become clear to me, we aren't just rebuilding an island, we're reviving a legend.
By giving unconditionally, not expecting anything in return, I thought it was a wonderful way of showing this love, and I believe that it is love that truly draws people, and so I thought we could cover a lot more people by feeding. Volunteers, you know, they have truly been sold.
My passion is to help, and I thank God for what I can do through the help of Bahamas Feeding Network.
A disabled person, a lot of times we feel like it's just us. And I recognize, even through my bone cancer journey and receiving an amputation, that it was time to join the community around me. So I started to dive into sports, adaptive sports, Paralympic development. So that's how I got into para archery. You know the lens that you have in yourself on your own value. How am I going to be productive? How am I going to leave a mark or do an impact in your community? You're going to have to decide that even in showing up, you're celebrating your wins, but also acknowledging and being accountable for the times that you did not do what you needed to do, but it's never a loss, it's a learn. And so actually helps us to focus on that, focus on ourselves and focus on our actions. Crime-free looks like me.
Do your part. Join the movement to a safer Bahamas.
Summer in the Bahamas. The weather is hot, but not as hot as the ZNS summer packages. Get ads on ZNS TV or ZNS Radio Network or the TV community page, or a combination of all three. ZNS has got you covered with great prices, whatever package you choose. Book before June 7th and get the local Federation Championship Baseball bonus full of all kinds of extras free of charge. Contact your account executive or call ZNS Sales at 502-3800 today. Hot summer package rates valid until July 31st.
Are you ready for the hottest sports show on the market? It's called The Timeout, Sundays on the ZNS Television Network. In our first show, 4 decades of sports in the country.
At Harold Point, I'm Ted Jervis, and this is ZNS.
The Rundown is brought to you by Commonwealth Brewery Limited.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to The Rundown. It's a great start of another week, and I'm glad to have you join us again. It's great to be with you. Well, it's a big week for Grand Bahama, as this coming Thursday, the government is expected to sign a new heads of agreement for the redevelopment of the Grand Lucayan Resort. The historic moment signals renewed hope and opportunity for the island and calls for celebration according to those in the Port Lucaya marketplace. Shane Stubbs of our Northern Service met with the Events and Entertainment Department, who have big plans for the upcoming signing.
We are days away from the heads of agreement signing for the Grand Lucayan Resort, which is set to take place this coming Thursday. Now, there's a whole lot of enthusiasm regarding the event, and leading the charge of entertainment for that day is the Port Lucaya Marketplace's Events and Entertainment Department, who say they are pulling out all the bells and whistles for the momentous occasion.
We here in Port Lucaya Marketplace are excited about this breaking news. At 5:30 p.m., the Prime Minister will rush, along with the New Year's Day Parade Junkanoo winners, the swingers, from Manor House to the Market Square, with the sounds of cowbells, whistles and horns, bass drums, and brass instruments, and will announce this exciting news to all Bahamians at 6:15 p.m.
In 2016, the rage of Hurricane Matthew forced Memories Resort and Casino, as well as the Grand Lucayan Beach and Golf Resort, to close their doors, nearly bringing traffic to the marketplace to a halt. Now, with the new heads of agreement on the horizon, Entertainment and Marketing Manager Siska Jones believes this is an exciting time for the island to band together.
We would like to invite the entire island, from McLean's Town to West End, to flock to the marketplace on Thursday, May 15th, as we bring the Market Square alive and celebrate this great news in grand style.
Now, giving us a pulse on how the vendors are feeling about the upcoming signing, Lorenzo McKinsey says that there's no room to doubt that this signing will lead to the much-needed shot in the arm the Port Lucaya Marketplace needs.
We don't have no room for doubt, because we've been doing bad for so long. We ain't thinking about no doubt. Seriously, I don't think people understand the situation in Freeport. When you have to pay your bills and you can't pay it, and you have a business and you trying to make money, and it ain't nobody else's fault but we just don't have the numbers up here. And we welcome everything. We ain't looking back. We looking forward.
Now, while he says it's been an uphill climb for vendors in the Port Lucaya Marketplace this past decade, McKinsey looks forward to seeing the residual effect of this deal pay dividends in the long run.
Port Lucaya in the private sector is the largest tourist destination on Grand Bahama, and it's the largest tourist destination in this area.
For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Shane Stubbs.
Thanks, Shane. Well, we can also tell you that Deputy Prime Minister, Minister of Tourism, Investments and Aviation, the Honourable Chester Cooper, is pretty optimistic about Grand Bahama's economic rebound. The DPM sharing with reporters recently that several developments are already on stream, creating more job opportunities for residents, in the process boosting the tourism product.
Not only will Grand Bahama be the fastest growing in airlift and air arrivals, but it will also be the fastest growing island in the Bahamas by way of cruise passengers. We're seeing a $600 million investment in the Grand Bahama shipyard. That's underway. It's happening. We see an additional $1 billion, a total of almost $3 billion we're seeing in Grand Bahama. That's cause for optimism, and many of these are out of the pipeline or coming out of the pipeline. Celebration Key has been hiring now for a considerable period of time. They're moving around the islands because they have difficulty finding enough employees. That's positive. It's optimistic.
There you have it. And so let's talk about this for a second, right, before we move on. Obviously, what's happening in Grand Bahama is signaling good news. And if the government is able to deliver on what they have planned to do and what they're going to sign on Thursday, it's going to be pretty exciting for the people of Grand Bahama. It's been years, right? We all know what's the story about Grand Bahama. It's been years of what people call drought or a slowdown in the economy, and now it appears to be a turning point where things are actually going in the opposite direction, and now seeing improvement, opportunities, investments, jobs. In other words, people are getting an opportunity at a better life. And that's important. And I know there are skeptics, some who will say, well, you know, we've been here before and nothing came through. And you can understand that. And then there are those who say, well, listen, as you would have heard the vendor say, well, right now, any good news is good news. We're just hoping for the best, right? Because you can only hope for good. You can't only hope for the best. And if it pans out to be the best, then it's some good days on the horizon for Grand Bahamians. The important thing is now separating the politics out of it, right? Because we know what season we're going into, and we know that there is a need from different sides to represent what's in the best interest for them politically. So you're going to have those who say, oh, this ain't happen. Oh, we've been here before. Oh, it's nothing but talk, and nothing going to happen, because they're hoping that politically, it suits their purpose. And then you're going to have those who are in support of the government saying, listen, this is what you've been waiting on. This is great news. Come on, celebrate, right? So the reality is, I think we ought to be concerned as the people in Grand Bahama. Those are the people who have proven to be resilient over the years. Those are the people who have proven to weather whatever storm has come their way. I believe they deserve to have a good season. And if this is the beginning of a good season, then why not celebrate for them? We've already seen some of the investments come to fruition. Celebration Key is coming on stream. We see the Xanadu Resort has just been purchased by Royal Caribbean. We now see the heads of agreement being signed for the redevelopment of the Grand Lucayan and neighboring properties. Prime Minister is going to signal some new announcements at the Port Lucaya. So there appears we see a lot happening in the industrial sector, expansion there. You see some expansion with the Keys and a new cruise ship that are coming in, properties who are building developments there. So what you really see happening is there is confidence in the market to invest. And that's the first thing people look for in an island when they want to see recovery is, are people investing? So the investments are there, billions of dollars in investments. The Minister of Grand Bahama, Ginger Moxie, has worked extremely hard negotiating with tourism officials and investment officials to be able to bring a new injection into Grand Bahama. Say what you like about Ginger Moxie, but she is proving that she has been busy working. Because they're now panning out. And people are saying, well, why is it just happening? Well, because like any business deal, it takes years to negotiate and agree. But you're now seeing the reward of what those travel and negotiations were all about. And hats off to her and her team for working extremely hard to get the economy going in Grand Bahama. We see revitalization of downtown. The UB is about to reopen its new renovated facilities. Things are happening on the island, and that signals nothing but good news for Grand Bahama, who has waited for their turn. And I believe, based on what we're seeing, they're about to experience their turn. So let's all be optimistic about it and hope for the best. If it fails, it only goes to the detriment of all of us. So let's not wish for it to fail. Let's hope it succeeds. Let's hope it comes to full term and people can reap the rewards of it on Grand Bahama. Many people can move back to Grand Bahama and flourish again like it did before. So let's all hold hands together, right? And pray, obviously, but let's hope for the best. and move the politics out of it, and let's see if things can come to fruition for people who have waited a long time for it. Well, let's talk a little bit about politics right now. The Free National Movement has announced a tourism plan of their own. They released it on social media. There you go. The opposition criticized the Davis administration's equation. They're saying fewer stopover visitors, less revenue for you and the government. Now, the F&M strategies include, 1, strengthening partnerships with airline carriers and international tour operators to stabilize and grow airlift, supporting Bahamian entrepreneurs in hospitality with access to capital and technical training, improving infrastructure at key ports of entry to enhance the visitor experience, launching coordinated data-driven market campaigns to re-engage core visitor markets. Now, the opposition urges the Davis administration to share its plan, which they say is bigger than all of us. The needs of workers and the broader economy comes first. So already there's some feedback in the camp. There's some people talking about it in the government's camp. And interestingly, some people are saying, what's new about that plan? They're saying a lot of these things are already in place. Tourism is already doing these things. So what about this is new? We see there launch coordinated market campaigns. Launch coordinated market campaigns is there. Let's go back to that screen, please, so we can talk about what they're actually proposing. I think it's important to break it down and discuss it. So they're talking about launching new campaigns in the market. Can you put that screen back up for me, please? Thank you, the graphic. Put it back up for me so we can see what that graphic actually says. And we're talking about the partnerships that they believe they can strengthen with airline carriers and international tour operators to stabilize and grow airlift. Now, this is something that the Ministry of Tourism actually have an entire division to do, which is create new airlift, which is to create opportunities for strategic routes and plans for airlines and carriers. That's already a part of the ministry, and they work on that every day. Let's freeze that shot once it comes into full play. Let's freeze that shot so that people can see what it promises. So launch coordinated marketing campaigns to re-engage core visitor markets. We spend a lot of money in the Ministry of Tourism on marketing campaigns. The Director General will tell you that they have found strategic partners, they have found strategic campaigns and markets that they go into to get people to travel to the Bahamas. And that is why they continue to do what it is they do, support Bahamian self-starters in hospitality. We have not only the Tourism Corporation, which actually is designed to help businesses establish in the tourism sector. That's the purpose of the Tourism Corporation that the administration has opened. Also, the SBDC, Small Business Development Center, they're busy trying to help people get their businesses up and running to be able to support all of what you see happening with the new investments in tourism. So this is what's going on now. Improve key ports of entry to enhance visitor experience. We just built a new port downtown. We're redeveloping ports all throughout this country and destinations for cruise passengers and visitors. And the airport continues to redevelop. So and then strengthening partnership with airline carriers. We talked about that. There actually is a department responsible for increased airlift. So what about this is new? These things are already in existence and already functioning to give us what it is that we need. And this is what I'm talking about. When we talk about politics, we have to break down what people are saying, and you look at it and you recognize, well, 4 of these pillars are already functioning and are entities in government right now. So there's nothing new there. This is already in play. And if you look at the real issue for stopover visitors, the real issue for stopover visitors in the Bahamas is rooms. We don't have enough rooms. We've lost even inventory because of Sandals closure. We don't have enough rooms. So that's the issue. And that's why government has diverted a big part of its focus on Airbnbs. Because until you can get more room nights, they've been focusing on the multiple Airbnbs that are now available throughout this country, particularly in the capital, to let people know that if you can't get a hotel room, Airbnbs are available to you, that you can still come and you can still stay. This is why it's so important to know the facts so that people can't just give you rhetoric and you run and believe it, right? There is a considerable focus now on trying to get more rooms. That's why they're signing heads of agreements for new resorts to be built, expansion of some of the larger resorts, and also supporting the Airbnb business, because that's what's going to shore up your room availability. When people go online to book and say, I want to come to the Bahamas, they don't want to see, oh, no availability. And that's what the Airbnb has been able to buffer. In the meantime, while we don't have all the room inventory in stock, they're able to buffer with that. So it's important to set the record straight and set the facts in motion so people understand, well, another entity is setting the record straight. The Minister of National Security and Minister of State for Disaster Preparedness issuing a joint statement to respond to the Free National Movement's deputy leaders' proposed National Fire Service Reform Plan. Right? They've also put that out, saying that they want to be able to make the fire services separate. Now, the ministers feel it is a textbook example of what they call political showmanship grounded in fiction rather than fact. Ministers Munro, National Security Minister, and Lundy, responsible for disaster preparedness, feel that had the opposition taking the time to speak with the agencies tasked with protecting life and property across our islands, they would have quickly discovered that their $10 million claim to deliver 25 fire trucks and a firefighting aircraft is wildly off base and laughably inaccurate, says the ministers in the statement. The statement continues, contrary to the assertions made, the Royal Bahamas Police Force Fire Branch and the Disaster Risk Management Authority were not consulted by the opposition prior to their announcement, and the government feels any meaningful or credible proposal on fire services must begin with engagement with the agencies directly responsible for frontline emergency response. It just makes sense, right? The Davis administration wants the Bahamas to know that pricing has been secured for new fire trucks and equipment across the Bahamas, and it costs well into the millions of dollars. You heard that? The government makes it clear they do not deal in guesswork or speculation when it comes to matters of public safety, and implementing a structured national upgrade of fire services grounded in real numbers, professional assessment, and strategic planning is essential. Minister Munro and Lundy contend while the opposition is free to make suggestions, those suggestions must be rooted in fact, grounded in consultation, and aligned with the country's fiscal and operational realities. Unfortunately, this recent announcement by the FNM, they say, fails on all accounts. Again, this is silly season, as they call it, and so you're going to find out that people are going to raise issues that, listen, we can wave a magic wand and make it better. And then you get into office and you recognize it's not that easy. You're dealing with constraints, you're dealing with budgets, you're dealing with confinement, you're dealing with realities of a public service that's still challenged. It does not happen that easy. And as you would have seen them say and give the math, what the FNM is quoting as what they will inject cannot do what they believe it can do. It takes lots of millions to get that system in place and to purchase fire trucks. And listen, I know people get anxious, and I believe that we can always seek to do a better job with fire services and firefighting. But this is something that the world is being challenged with, right? We saw the fires in America. We saw what it did to California. Even the best countries with the state-of-the-art ability to fight fires find themselves challenged. And so it's easy when you have circumstances like this to push blame and say, what is the government doing? What is the government doing? The reality is you will never have all that you need and be able to just fight it all. There are challenges in every country. There are restrictions. There are budget constraints, and there are the ability to always need more. And no country has gotten it perfectly right. It's in this season now where fires are coming up all over the world in various countries, and our focus and prayer should be to keep our firefighters safe while they battle these blazes and to minimize loss of property. And hopefully we pray that loss of life does not happen. But the realities of it is America's challenge with fighting fires. And so imagine a nation like the Bahamas that has to duplicate its services, not just on one island, but on all of these islands where we have people, we have to duplicate. When other Caribbean countries have one landmass and can put services there for that one island, we've got to duplicate those services in all of the islands, and that is very expensive. It's also very challenging, and no government has been able to find an easy fix. All governments, consecutive governments, have been challenged when it comes to fires, have been challenged when it comes to resources for crime, has been challenged for emergency disaster responses. You're challenged because it is an expensive undertaking throughout the archipelago of islands, and also when you have one resource and one income, it is hard to prioritize all that a developing country like the Bahamas needs. It takes resources and coordination. And so we hope that people understand that and recognize governance is not easy. It's not easy. The FNM can tell you that. The PLB can tell you that. Those have been the two governments we've had back and forth. They can tell you it's not easy. So when you hear other people talking about governing and how they would do it differently, that's great. But the reality is it's always different when you get in the seat and recognize realities of what you are working with. A lot of those lofty plans get put on the back burner because the challenges are absolutely there. Well, tonight we're focusing on the environment tonight. There's a multi-million-dollar development in Exuma that unfortunately is getting some pushback tonight. We've got a veteran environmentalist who'll break it down, the aspects of this project, why it's a good thing for the environment and the island of Exuma. They'll talk about it and about what the challenges are and how they hope to address what their cause and their concerns are. So we'll talk about that when we come back. You're watching The Rundown here on the ZNS Network. We're back after this. Stay close.
I am a master plumber by profession. I've been doing plumbing for over 40 odd years. When I was 9 months old, I was diagnosed with polio. To me, living with polio, I took it the way it is. I never allowed my polio to get in my way of anything. In fact, I love when people doubt me, and I just prove them wrong. And let me tell you, in the world, you could only find a plumber as good as me, but you ain't gonna find no plumber better than me. People with disability, they just need a chance. In this program, I feel so encouraged. Most of the mentors have different kind of disability, but disabilities like me. Sharing and caring and showing so much support with people with disability. They would encourage you to go beyond. I wish this was around a long time ago. Right now, I would have been a millionaire. You out there who have a disability, don't be afraid. Take the step. If you believe it, you could achieve it. And remember one thing, ain't no one better than me, and ain't no one better than y'all. God made all us equal.
For more information about how the SBDC can help your small business to make a big impact, give us a call at 461-7232 or visit sbdcbahamas.com.
Residents of Acklands, Crooked Island, and Long Key say they want a hand up, not a handout. The Minister of Social Services, Information and Broadcasting, the Honorable Miles Arota, listens and responds. Join Debbie Bartlett on the program Taking Social Services to the People, Episode 1, on Monday at 9 p.m. on ZNS Television. Social Services, Information and Broadcasting, the heartbeat of the nation.
Bahama Striping Group of Companies, we have been in Exuma now for the past 4 years, carrying out our paving program. A part of our company's philosophy is producing work to international standards. So when you look at our paving division, we have a state-of-the-art lab to do all of our testing in-house, as well as a state-of-the-art asphalt plant with a trained technician carrying out the work on that site. The overarching goal of our company is to produce the work that we're doing in the entire Bahamas to international standards. We also make a difference by the training of our staff. We have a very intensive training program going on to where we are teaching young men how to learn the art of striping. Being a young man myself, I've made mistakes in the past. I was given a second chance to better my life, and it's only fitting that we pass it along. What's important for us is giving them a second chance for them to get a skill and a career that could take them further in life.
Welcome back. A special good evening to all of you watching us in the Lion's Den. I see you there. Those of you watching on YouTube, whether you're watching Turks and Caicos on your various platforms in the Caribbean or around the world, or just here at home throughout the Family Islands, we're always appreciative to have you join the rundown. Well, it's been 2 years now since the government signed a heads of agreement to transform Samson Key, located just north of Staniel Key, that's in Exuma, by the way, into a $25 million environmentally friendly boutique resort and marina, generating jobs for Bahamians during the construction phase and even more employment opportunities once operational. The Exuma-based project will feature a main house that serves as a central dining and gathering spot and beach cottages with 22 rooms plus staff housing for up to 15 people. However, there's some opposition to the development of the Samson Key. We've learned there's growing opposition to the proposed mega development, the irreplaceable ecological value of the North Bay, and the rising local movement to protect it. Veteran environmentalist Eric Carey joins me tonight to explain why this development must align with Exuma's natural landscape, not force against it. His goal is not confrontational, but coexistent, responsible, low-impact development that honors the region's beauty, culture, and economy. Good evening, sir. Welcome to the Rundown. It's great to have you with us tonight.
Good evening, Clint. It's good to be here. Just like to clarify, I represent a client, Turtle Grass Resort. Turtle Grass Resort signs a heads of agreement for a small sustainable resort. My client was well underway in his development and then learned about a year later that government had signed another heads of agreement with another developer, the Integra Group, the Rose Group. My client's issue is that development, which is it's a much larger development. It's on the eastern end, eastern part of the same island, but that development has a component, a commercial dock, which is going to be proposed to be located really in the right where my client's beaches are, recreational beaches. So you're talking about issues of safety, issues of product degrading from having commercial barges. And so my client is hoping that, my client is not opposed to, Bob Coughlin is the developer. He is an American that's been living in Exuma as a permanent resident for a number of years now. He lives in Exuma. He's a philanthropist. Long before he started this project, in fact, he supports environmental causes. He's probably given away about $2 million of his own money and his friends. And Bob did this project because he wanted to do something small and sustainable. What is being proposed is a much larger development, and there are a lot of people who have issues with that in Staniel Key, the Save Exuma Alliance. But my client is interested in a coexistence and is seeking to avoid the destruction of this area right in front of his beaches, which will, again, not only destroy the environment, it will also basically make his project non-viable. I want to make it clear because my client has been accused of being a bully by government officials. He's been accused of not wanting this other development there. That's absolutely not the case. Bob is quite happy for the two developments to coexist, but if his development is going to be made non-viable by this commercial dock right in front of your beaches, then he has no choice. But
let's talk about that, because obviously his proposal was approved based on obviously his makeup and his landscape, what he's hoping to push it as, obviously an environmental friendly destination. How does this dock hinder that?
So the dock is, look, this is, I know we don't have a graphic, but basically I'm showing you, those are two recreational beaches. This is Turtle Grass Resort, his two recreational beaches, and this is a commercial dock. That is going to absolutely destroy his product, right? And the thing about this, Clint, this is an unnecessary element. The other developer is putting in 2 mega yacht marinas in the south of the island. This cut we call the North Cut, the North Bay, is extremely sensitive. This has my Prime Minister's hallowed seagrass. And to put this in, they will destroy my Prime Minister's seagrass. It will make a hypocrite out of my Prime Minister.
Because we've been touting about the value of our seagrass when it comes to carbon credits.
They went to a meeting recently in Stanley Key, and they said, well, it's only a little bit, it's not that much seagrass that's going to be destroyed. My Prime Minister said seagrass is sacred, and I support that. It's now become our stock in trade. We're expecting this to be an incredible windfall for the country, for environmental funding, for development, etc. So from that perspective, this should not be allowed. But again, this is one of the most, look, I know the Exumas more than most people. I've had the privilege of going there. And this North Bay is one of the most sensitive. Marcus Mitchell ran a facility here. He was a salver, so he went and salvaged boats, etc. He never developed any of this. He never put in marinas because it's too shallow. All of the so they said they're going to put in this dock, and will
it require dredging?
Significant dredging, and this is the other thing. First, when my client got his certificate of environmental clearance, the CEC, my good friend, Dr. Rihanna Neely Murphy, the head of DEP, stamped on his certificate of environmental clearance, no dredging. He was quite happy with that. That made a lot of sense. When DEP went to the first BIA field trip, sometime in July, maybe 2023, I saw the brief that was prepared for BIA, and I didn't get a copy. I actually saw it, and I realized it wasn't for me, but I saw what it said, and DEP had concerns with this area being too sensitive. It was too sensitive then, so all my client is after is for this dock, this commercial dock, to be relocated in the south. We've met with the developer on several occasions. We've said, we believe that you can relocate this dock to the south, and it's not going to impact your development. You're putting 2 mega yacht marinas there anyway. Bring your stuff in there. They have already said to us, I'm actually bringing 75% of what I need into the south anyway, including fuel. If you can bring your fuel, but why isn't the fuel, you know why the fuel is in the south? Because the fuel barges and all of the other barge companies we've spoken to have said, we can't come in there, because to dredge this, they will have to dredge down to 9 or 10 feet. 9 or 10 feet, 100 yards, 100 feet wide maybe. That's massive dredging. They say this is sand. This is not sand. Right here, along the shore, right along the shore, coral reefs, soft and hard corals, seagrass, etc. So we're saying, why would you sacrifice this, DEP or the government or Integra, for an element you don't need? When they were doing their geotechnical surveys, which is the first part of your development, you dig holes, and they tried to bring in their barge with the heavy equipment in here. And you know what happened? They could not get it in. We actually have the marine traffic track of that. So they went to the south. Why did they go to the south? Why are they putting 2 mega yacht marinas in the south? Because that's where the deep water is. So everyone, all we're saying is, take it to the south. Clint, this is, barges would be coming in here. Commercial barges and commercial ships will be coming in here right next to the shore, 75 feet offshore. Not only is it an eyesore, not only is it gonna look really disgusting, it is a safety issue. This is where all of the local people already use for snorkeling. This is a turtle haven. This is a conch nursery.
So you don't want that kind of traffic going in and messing with that.
And I met with another government official recently. I won't name this government official, but he knows the Exumas. And he said to me, I see what you're saying, because even if they dredge this, I don't think they could get barges in there. And I said, then please tell my Prime Minister that. And the Prime Minister said to me, Eric, I don't get involved in the DEP decisions. I respect their authority, their their role is to make these decisions,
Right.
and I'm going to be guided by that. But I think the decision, and my client thinks the decision, is being made by false information, misinformation, misrepresentation, or mischaracterization of the habitat. So what they're saying, this is sand, we can dredge it. What we're saying is, no, it's not sand, it's coral reefs. What they're saying is, we're only going to dredge down to 7 feet. When they did their EIA, it was 10 feet. They need to dredge to 10 feet because if you're bringing in a barge along the seafloor and that has a 7-foot draft even, or even an 8-foot draft, you need at least 2 feet under that. So you got to go to 10 feet. So you're going to dredge a massive amount. And dredging down 2 more feet in the seafloor is a massive amount of dredging. So what we're saying is, this is an unnecessary element. You don't need this. You've proven you don't need it when you brought in your 40-foot containers and your bulldozers into the south. You've proven that's where the deep water is. You've proven this is the best place to do it. So take it to the south. You can coexist. We can coexist. You know, we're quite happy. Like you said, we should wish for success. That's what you said, and I agree. We should wish for the success of the people of Grand Bahama, and we wish that both developments be successful. But we believe that this would be an environmental travesty and a tragedy for something that is not necessary. This is what we've met with the Prime Minister. We've expressed this to him. I think the Prime Minister understood what he was saying, but he said to me, Eric, this case has to be made to depth. You need to give your reports to depth. And we've gotten our own independent environmentalists. We've gotten our own coastal engineers, dredge analysis specialists, who are showing that a lot more dredging is going to be required here.
Let's pause there. I want to talk about what happened when you talked to depth, when you presented the report to depth, and what do you believe? You talked a bit about the fact that you believe they're making the decisions based on misrepresentation. I want to talk a little bit more about that. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll get to the other side of this. We're back after this. You're watching The Rundown. We're back.
The internet isn't just for surfing. There's a sea of shoppers buying online, and you can connect with them on Tingsy. Tingsy is the SBDC's online storefront built for Bahamians. Take your business to the next level by selling to customers online, both at home and around the world. People want Bahamian things, and if you got things to sell, sell on Tingsy. Find out how you can connect with a sea of buyers by visiting tingsybahamas.com.
Summer in the Bahamas. The weather is hot, but not as hot as the ZNS summer packages. Get ads on ZNS TV or ZNS Radio Network or the TV community page, or a combination of all three. ZNS has got you covered with great prices, whatever package you choose. Book before June 7th and get the local Federation Championship Baseball bonus full of all kinds of extras free of charge. Contact your account executive or call ZNS Sales at 502-3800 today. Hot summer package rates valid until July 31st.
Welcome back to The Rundown. My guest tonight is environmentalist Eric Carey. We're talking about his client's concern about not 2 resorts on Sanson Key existing, because they have no issue with that, but what one of the resorts, how it can impact what they're designed to do, and the fact that they believe it's a concern for the environment because of the dredging of one of the docks that they would like to put there, and the concern. And my question to you going into the break was, have you made this representation to depth?
Yeah, so the process is they do an EIA. They did an EIA, which was done by Braun, one of the top environmental firms in the country. My client has also one of the top environmental firms in the country, Stacy Moultrie, Sev Consulting. And Stacy led our review of the EIA and pointed out that there were some issues, especially in this area. she pointed out that, you didn't do a proper analysis here. This is not sand, these are corals, this is seagrass, this needs to be looked at again. They also said, well, originally the dock was going to be closer to my client, and they said they've been working with DEP to move it, so they moved it 1,000 yards further to the north away from us. That doesn't solve the problem. That actually gets them into more coral and seagrass, right? So DEP's job is to make a decision that they think is acceptable, that the impact is acceptable. Some eggs may get broken, but it's going to be okay. This is necessary for development. This is an unnecessary element. This does not have, this is like the sixth finger on your hand. You don't need it. In fact, you don't want it. That is what we're saying to our decision makers, to our regulators. Please don't destroy this. Because from my client's perspective, it's an existential threat. If this happens, my client no longer has a product. He's already employing 30 people. He ain't around here talking about he can employ people. 30 people from Black Point are already working on this project. He's already spent $25 million. It's $25 million isn't his project could probably reach $100 million eventually. A real project. He is funded. He ain't about the world looking to sell my ground land to raise money, because that's what the other guys are doing. But those are other issues. My client is saying, I am ready. I am executing the heads of agreement I signed with you, Mr. Government. Don't kill my opportunity to be able to execute my heads of agreement. And if they allowed us, my client would have been prevented from being able to execute his development, and he will have to shut down. So he will shut down. These guys may go ahead and they may do their project, and that's unfair to him. So the DPM called my client a bully. My client is a victim trying to defend himself. Very interested in a coexistence. This is not about Integra versus Turtle Grass. This is not about Philippe McLean versus Bob Coughlin. This is about finding a way to make it make sense. And I am quite confident, and I would put my entire credibility, as I told the Prime Minister recently, and the Prime Minister said to me, you've never given me bad advice, and PM, I'm not giving you bad advice tonight. This should not happen. This would be a travesty. This would be the loudest environmental fight in this country, because we cannot and should not allow this to be destroyed for something that you don't need. You have 2 marinas in the south. You have deep water. You're taking your fuel in there. If there's one thing you would like to separate from your marina, it might be your fuel. But why are you not bringing your fuel in the north? Because the fuel barges will tell you, but I ain't bringing my barge in there. You crazy? Because you can't bring it in. So here's the other thing, Clint. We're fearful that if this gets approved, Mr. Developer will realize, because all the barge companies, we've contacted them.
They're going to refuse to come.
Including some who working for him. And they said, but we didn't tell these guys, we can't bring our barges in there. What we fear is then, the developer can say to the government, oh, the barges can't come in. We need to dredge all this. So now you will have destroyed an entire system. And he might say to the government, well, you let me do this dock, and you know I couldn't get ships in there, so you need to now let me get to my dock. This is that's the point. It's an unnecessary element. Philippe McLean told my client in a meeting 4 weeks ago, I'm already bringing 75% of what I need into the south because there's deep water. My client said to him, why don't you put your little roll-on, roll-off dock in the south, close to your marina? He said to my client, well, I might lose a spot for one villa. I might have to sacrifice a spot for one villa. So you will sacrifice a $75 million development, signed and executed. in progress, going to be an amazing type of experience that fits with the Exumas. You're going to sacrifice that because you don't want this in the South, but you won't put it in front of my client's front door. These are all the factors that we're hoping come.
Let me ask you, because I'm listening, and this is just Samson Key, by the way. 2 multi-million-dollar resorts on this one key. And this is why I keep telling people, you don't understand what's happening in the Exumas, right? Because we're seeing mega billions of dollars of investments on these various keys, making Exuma is going to be one of the most sought-after destinations world over for these resorts. And so obviously the concern here, and I see they have the footage now, they're showing footage. Obviously the concern that I have, Eric Carey, is at what price do we sacrifice for development, right? Because we want the development because we have so much to offer in the Bahamas, and it's providing employment for so much of our Bahamians, even though it seems as though nowadays the Bahamians are very concerned about these private key employers. Absolutely. Because they apparently so many reports are negative about how they treat the workers. But nonetheless, we call it the price of development, eh? It's injecting millions into our economy, and it's providing jobs. But at what price for these resorts?
And that's the point. And so the other problem that that Integra has is that there's been a local group of businessmen who formed themselves into a group called Save Exuma Alliance. And what they're saying is your development is too big. 2 mega yacht marinas on a tiny little key. You have so many villas. You're going to dredge. And not only so we're only focused on this dredging, Clint, but their development plan has villas with docks on the sand flat. To put in a dock on the sand flat, how are you going to get to the dock? You have to dredge the sand flat. And people like Prescott Smith and others have been railing against the dredging of sensitive areas like sandbars and tidal flats, etc. So there are other issues. The point you made, at what price? And it is this. The people come to the Exumas because of the beautiful blues of the Exumas. They come for small resorts. Oh, yeah, they go to Exuma and they see the pigs. The pigs are a 45-minute experience. If you're there for 2 weeks, you ain't getting back to see those pigs. Right. What are you going to do? I'm going to the sandbars. I'm going to snorkel this cut. I'm going to look at turtles. You know, and this is the thing. My client is very committed that the people that already use his beaches, his philosophy is going to be, you are always welcome. You always came. Going forward, you are always welcome. There's not going to be any roping off. There's not going to be any security telling him you can't come there. Go and look at what is on the other developers' line. On my crown land and your crown land, they already have signs up that say Integra Development, private land. Their philosophy is different. Look, that's another issue for someone else to deal with. My client is trying to make a success, which will employ people. These other guys signed a heads of agreement for Cave Key. Integra signed an agreement, a heads of agreement for Cave Key, probably about the same time my client signed this. What have they done with Cave Key? That was announced as a $500 or $600 million development. What has happened with that development? Zero, nothing. So my point is, what happened to Cave Key? Why you come here? Search their development record. Zero. They've never done a development. So we're risking all of this for a developer with no experience. So we're bringing in Rosewood, they say. Rosewood is a brand, right? And it's quite the hypocrisy, because Rosewood has a sustainability pledge. Go on their website. We pledge to be sustainable. We pledge to fit within the environment. We pledge to respect the sense of place. This destruction makes Rosewood look like a hypocrite. So don't make a hypocrite of Rosewood. Don't destroy this. Don't allow this to happen. Let's all sit down, and these are facts. This is, I know people like, and I used to be in the environmental community. I'm now a consultant, and I didn't want to get into this type of advocacy. But when I saw, and I wasn't working for Bob when they started this. Bob was my friend because he supported the BNT, and I said, look, I want to help you. But when this became such an issue, he engaged me because he knew how passionate I am. He knows how knowledgeable I am. He knows that I have some credibility, right, with respect to with government agencies, and I'm putting I will put my entire credibility on the line. This is a bull-skate project. This is destructive, and the thing is, it is totally unnecessary. We should not destroy this. We should not put a third leg here or a fifth wheel because you don't need it. Move to the south. Everybody coexist. Two wonderful developments. My client already spending money, employing people. I don't think the government should stop that. And it's not a threat. So, Mr. DPM, don't call me tomorrow and say, my client is not threatening. My client wants to coexist. He wants to be a part of the Exuma community. He wants to continue to support local people and local causes and whether it's the environment or sailing or whatever. He does all of it. He's been doing that for years. Let's let that continue. Let's not threaten all of that for a fifth wheel.
Let's take a break and wrap up right after this. We're back after this.
Bahamas Driving Group of Companies, we have been in Exuma now for the past 4 years, carrying out our paving program. A part of our company's philosophy is to do some work to international standards. So when you look at our paving division, we have a state-of-the-art lab to do all of our testing in-house, as well as a state-of-the-art asphalt plant with a trained technician carrying out the work on that site. The overarching goal of our company is to produce the work that we're doing in the entire Bahamas to international standards. We also make a difference by the training of our staff. We have a very intensive training program going on to where we are teaching young men how to learn the art of striping. Being a young man myself, I've made mistakes in the past. I was given a second chance to better my life, and it's only fitting that we pass that along. What's important for us is giving them a second chance for them to get a skill and a career that could take them further in life.
It was once the heartbeat of Grand Bahama's tourism. Then came the storms, the silence, the setbacks. But now a new day is dawning, and with it the fulfillment of a long-awaited promise. This Thursday, May 15th at 2 p.m., the government of the Bahamas will sign a new heads of agreement for the redevelopment of the Grand Lucayan Resort. This historic moment signals renewed hope and opportunity for Grand Bahama. Join ZNS News for team coverage live from the Grand Lucayan Resort on Thursday at 1:30 p.m. This isn't just a signing, it's a turning point for Grand Bahama.
Planning the execution of a newscast is serious business. From the assignment to the concept of the story, everything has to be precise, on point, always. The Bahamas Tonight, the national voices will reach you on 700 islands and keys with unquestionable accuracy. It gives me great pleasure each night to say,
welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. I'm your national anchor, Mukesh Lopinder.
Hello, I'm Mario Nuri. It's never too early to prepare for a hurricane, and we want to make sure our community is always ready. So we invite you to join us for another A Familiar Walk, Step Towards Hurricane Preparedness, with special guests, Lisa Pinder, Director General, Dr. Trevor Johnson of the Bahamas Red Cross, Disaster Risk Management Authority representatives, and Charles Johnson of J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers. So do join us and stay weather aware.
Welcome back. We're wrapping up tonight's discussion with Eric Carey. And I guess the final question really pretty much lies around this. What happens next?
That depends on DEP and Dr. Neely and her team. I am hopeful that they agree that this is an unnecessary element. And I know DEP is only concerned with the environment in and of itself, but it's the whole project, right? And so because this is an unnecessary element, that should make the decision for all of us, that we do not need to sacrifice the environment for something that's absolutely not necessary. And I feel sorry for Dr. Neely, because these guys, these fellas, they've been jumping from pillar to post. The marina was literally here, out in the channel, where all the tour boats go every day. That's where their first marina choice was. Then they moved it in here, next to my client beach, just still to the west side. And when we said to them in Exuma, in Georgetown at the BIA meeting, you crazy? You can't put the marina here in front of this beach. And so without even breaking a sweat or missing a beat, Felipe said, okay, well, we'll put it over here to the east. So you're putting it in an impossible place. So you don't even know this area. Finally, I guess after he talked to his engineers, people like Carlos Palacios, who advised him, they realized that, you know, the best place for your marinas are in the south. So they found 2 ponds, which they're going to dredge out. And yes, it's an impact on the environment, but jobs and progress comes with some impact, right? You cannot save every aspect of it, and you have to make sacrifices. And when sacrifices make sense, decisions should be made along those lines. But when sacrifices don't make sense, then a decision shouldn't be made. This is an unnecessary element. This is a fifth wheel. It's not needed. They told us they already bring in 75% of their stuff in there. We know they bring in the fuel dock, the fuel to the south. Mm-hmm. That's where the deep water is. Put your dock in the south. You good, we good, and then we could collaborate. You know, there's some land to the west of us that they have a crown lease on that they ain't gonna be able to do nothing with because they can't put no marina there, they can't put no docks because it's in the channel. Maybe there's an opportunity to collaborate, as my client has said, on an environmental education, scientific study, conservation center, whatever, and my client will fund it. My client is looking to coexist. But first, he's looking to exist. He's looking to survive. My client has a proverbial gun at his head. This will pull the trigger, and this will kill.
Will this impact what his plans are and goes contrary to the heads of agreement he signed?
Absolutely. This will render his project non-viable and end his ability to be able to implement the conditions of his heads of agreement. And we're asking, I'm begging my Prime Minister, I'm asking Deb to please look at this for really what it is, a fifth wheel, an unnecessary impact on our environment, and it's going to kill this dream of this developer, and most importantly, it's actually going to put people who are working out of work. So my client is not opposed to Integra. My client wants to coexist, but he cannot exist. They cannot exist if you bring in this ugly monstrosity of a commercial dock. Cargo ships go in 50 feet, 75 feet off of where his clients are trying to snorkel, paddleboard, and not only his clients, but the clients from Staniel Key Adventures, the clients from Embrace Resort, the clients from the Staniel Key Yacht Club, the clients from Sandals, Fowl Key, they all use this area. And
unless we forget, ordinary Bahamians.
Ordinary Bahamians, absolutely. So I hope they make the right decision, because the right decision makes everybody happy and avoids what is only going to end up in court.
All right. Eric Carey, thank you for coming on tonight and talking.
Thank you for having me.
Our pleasure. That's it for the rundown. Before we end, we have this programming note to tell you about. The rundown on leadership, which normally airs on Thursday here on the ZNS Network, will actually air on Wednesday, May 14th. Instead of its usual slot on Thursday at 8 p.m., you get to have me live from Grand Bahama on Thursday with, of course, the historic Heads of Agreement signing. I'll be in Grand Bahama live for that on Thursday. So rundown on leadership will air on Wednesday, and I'll be there live back with you again on Thursday. But before all that happens, I'll be right back here tomorrow night. So don't forget to stay tuned to the ZNS Network. Coming up 11 o'clock tonight, the Bahamas Night at 11 with Royston Jones is your last newscast of the evening. Be sure to stay locked into the 11 o'clock. We have all of the latest in news and information. Royston's in the building very now for the 11 o'clock news. For all of us here at ZNS, I'm Clint Watson. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow. Good night, everyone.
At Fort Montague, I'm Opal Roach. This